the biggest door, the biggest opening on your home is the garage, and you don't want to skimp, man.
No,
you want to do it right.
If you got a loud, old, rickety, rusty garage door,
gross.
I'm telling you, me and Daniel got the silent package. I know Seth got it. Our buddy Tony got it. Your father-in-law.
Yeah, my father. Well, he got a full, brand new garage door. In fact, he had them back out. He got this new version where the actual unit is side-mounted.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like sideways?
Oh, yeah. No, just,
no, that's a fancy one.
Yeah, you got the fancy. But I'm just saying, Precision Garage Door, it's all they do.
Yeah.
They will come in a van or a truck that is branded. You will have confidence.
They're technicians.
Yeah, super fast, super quick. I had an instance last week where my garage door opener was opening a brand new garage door in the neighborhood.
Oh, really?
They came to my house same day. In 1 hour, she diagnosed the problem. Do you want to know what happened?
What?
It was a fluke. He had been programming his garage door as I was leaving to get coffee, and when I pressed the button, he was actually programming
really?
it, and that's what happened. And the lady from Precision diagnosed the problem and fixed both our garage doors. It didn't even charge the guy.
Here's the number to call, 407-710-BDMS. That's BDMS. All you have to do is call that number. They know it came from us. You get 5% off a brand new door if you want a brand new door. Also, get the silent package, Wi-Fi. You can control the door with your phone.
Oh,
easy.
Yeah. Peace of mind, man.
It's Precision Door of Central Florida. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I have cancer, apparently, in my eyeballs.
No.
Why would you do that? Why, when you know that I am working hard through exercise, meditation, trying to eat healthier, everything else is exactly the same, though. Alcoholism is... But I'm just saying, I'm trying to better myself. And I have a floater in my eye now, and I can see it. And you know that I'm trying to manifest positivity by vocalizing it. So I'll say things like, not a big deal, moving on. That's my way to move on. And you'll be like, nope, don't move on, probably cancer. And then you lean in.
Well, it's like if someone's pants fall down and then they quickly try to pull them up before anybody notices. My first instinct is to scream, look, that nerd's pants fell down.
That's the chop.
I thought you were going to say your first instinct is to pull the pants further down.
No, I'm not that much of a bully.
In which case, I was going to turn to our friend who happens to be in the legal, there's the mumbo jumbo, and I tell him to get you.
And also, when I make those jokes, I know you know that
I know
wait,
you know.
Hold on, that's the shirt. I know you know.
You don't actually. That doesn't spike
you just
your
have to know
anxiety.
knowledge. That's also a Tom Van quote.
Plus, he knows what I'm going to do, right? So, how do you think I feel right now? Do you think that I am still using the positivity that I'm trying to manifest in order to push my hypochondriac tendencies away? Or do you feel like you know that right now I am spiraling out of control inside my own brain?
Well, I hope you're spiraling because that's what I wanted.
Correct. That's exactly what I'm doing. Introduce our guest so I can spiral quietly.
Sorry. With us today, one of our great sponsors, also our presenting sponsor for the Tom and Dan Land Cruise, which I want to talk to Mo about. But in the studio, Mo DeWitt. How you doing, Mo?
Doing well. How you guys doing?
Good. So
I'd be doing better if this guy wasn't a jerky friend.
Here's how nice Mo is. Mo texts me. It was probably like, weeks ago, maybe a month ago, or whatever. After he,
hey, Merry Christmas. Just want to get it in early. I'm that nice.
No. After he, already agreed to be the presenting sponsor of our next event, which, by the way, we couldn't do without our sponsors because there's a lot of costs associated with these.
And our guys know how this works. We've always been pretty upfront about. And this one, somebody asked the question on the page, the event page last night, how much money we're making from this event. And Tony was very quick to let them know that we're making next to nothing and losing money.
Yeah.
Wasting money.
If I hit it just perfect, we'll lose it a little bit. That's all I...
That's so bad.
And if we do that... But I look at it like the grand scheme of things, it's better.
We budgeted it, but it's not a money-making event.
Yeah, it's the only way you could do it. Because, I mean, when you see how beautiful the Dr. Phillips Front Yard Festival is and how much... I mean, it's not just construction gates, know what I'm saying? Like
this is a thing.
This is like permanently constructed, like wood paneled fencing. It's not, it's like it's not just the fencing at the county fair they threw up. You know what I'm saying? Every box has QR code. Like it's the nicest venue in town.
Super nice. Yeah.
Anyway, so expensive. So Mo texts me like a month after he agreed, and then to be the presenting sponsor.
I don't even know what you're going to say. So I hope you're sharing something that Mo's okay with.
And then, but I'll just show you how nice of a guy Mo is. Mo's like, hey, no big deal, but I just need to know if I need to buy a pod or a box or not because I plan on going or whatever. As if
now I've been through the
presenting
list
sponsor.
Of the free, I've been through the list of the free pods of the pod.
Let's not pretend you haven't overlooked stuff like that.
No, maybe I don't remember Mo ever being on the list. No, I'm serious. We've been through the list. There are some names on there that are odd names. I'll throw some out there.
Ben Bungie has a pod.
Ben Bungie has a pod. Remy has a pod. Drew Garabo and his producer have a pod.
Mo's gonna get Tony Palmieri. No, but as if we were like, oh no, we didn't give the presenting sponsor, and like the best pod in the house. But that's how nice Mo is. Instead of if I was in Mo's position,
they're gonna have a pod for me. I'm the king.
I would have just assumed that I would have got the best pod, and then showed up, and then
does that have to do with Mo being very nice, or does it have to do with him just knowing how we are?
Correct.
I think it's probably a bit of both, more of us.
Yeah.
Fair.
Anyway, how you doing, Mo?
Doing well.
You already asked.
Sorry. Start over.
How you doing?
Take it from the top.
He gave us so much money, I'll ask you all day. How you doing?
And also, Mo, I know that day of the event. I was looking forward to you dressing like the Justin Timberlake video that I saw you about. I don't know if you want to.
In the full denim. It's gonna be hot name.
So why again would you? Okay.
I can't help myself.
It really is. It's gotta be that.
I'm trying to ruin everything.
We didn't. He and I, we're not known for our show planning. When we do the show, there's a reason that Tom, and he swears he wrote this, but improvisational conversations is what he calls what we do. But you never told me that your idea was to get our main sponsor in here, the presenting sponsor of our event, sit him down, fake like we didn't have a pod for him, give him a pod, and then go through this whole rigmarole about how bad we are.
So at the end of the day, you wanted me to be in the full denim suit,
and
locked outside the Dr. Phillips Center, peering over the gate, looking for the show.
So you want to bring our presenting sponsor?
Jokes on you.
A denim cowboy hat on.
So Mo bought all the pods, or what? He helped. You could say without him, no pods, right?
Right.
So you bring him in here,
whatsoever.
and then you tell him, okay, finally, 11th hour, we got you a pod, but now you want him to dress like a ding dong?
No, he has that.
I know he does, and it's for marketing purposes that he used in a commercial.
This is how dumb I am.
It's a marketing, he doesn't do that because he thinks it's, fun. At least I don't think he does. I want to speak for him, but...
That wasn't even an idea I had. I had nowhere to go, and then I was like, well, don't say that, and then I said it.
Wow.
I literally was like,
nowhere to go? Just come on. Whoa.
Anyway, how you doing, Mo?
Oh, my God.
Wait a minute. We have to change the name of the bit. The name of the bit is now called How You Doing, Mo? Where we sit down.
Oh, also...
what are you watching on TV? You got any good things you're streaming?
I do have legal questions if you want to get to them. But if you want to just keep asking how he's doing,
well,
that is also fine.
One more thing about the event.
Yes.
So this is another thing that's always driven me crazy.
Zane Nelson in our chat room said he's storming the pods. Don't storm the pods. No storming.
So another thing that always drove me crazy, especially with corporate events, because I've been a part of those before, and it's like when a corporation's throwing an event, usually the person that works for said corporation, the event planner, they're so used to saying no that's all they say, and they won't even go and ask or look into it because it's easier for them to say no.
Event you want to go? Just say no.
Yeah, it's like can I get some extra tickets? Can I do this? That? It's always no. And Mo also said, he's like, hey, I can produce some custom Just Call Mo cups for all the beverages at said event. I don't, just let me know.
My name's Mo. If you know, I know.
He said if it's an event you want to go, and you're going to put on a good show, I got some cups that will make the beer flow.
And they glow.
The glow go with the flow to toe.
And he said, I can provide the cups. I'll custom print them and send them to the event.
God, you're a rambling ding dong.
I know.
You're just a rambling moron.
And then instead, I thought to myself, well, maybe Dr. Phillips wouldn't want to use their own cups, and maybe it's part of the, I could have just said no, but never say no to Mo.
Never say no to Mo.
Good rule.
Get that.
Update. I am now fully blind.
I guess right. Guess right.
No. It is. There's nothing going on in these things. Can you see behind them? Can you see anything? Are they open?
They're open.
Are my eyes
open, baby?
They're white.
I'm pretty sure you have glaucoma in both.
Oh, my God.
Anyway, and then I just sent an email and asked Dr. Phillips, and they're like, yeah, sure, just mail to it's easy, just ask.
Now, wait a minute, did he just say never say no to Mo, and you emailed Mr. or Dr. Phillips? And you emailed Jim Phillips to come to the
and then he said, he's like, I'm at home.
At this point,
I thought you owned the place.
I haven't talked to Jim in forever.
I didn't know you were a doctor.
Last time I talked to him, he said Corona had scared him under his bed. And Jim Phillips said he never goes out. He could be crazy old man.
He's whipping the Corona balls out of the air. All right.
Okay.
First question.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, legal.
I don't know.
You take them up high with the rhyming, and then you take them down.
All right. We have, is there any way to double check that a lawyer is doing what they are doing? When they say that they filed a motion, is there a way I can view what they actually have? Non-criminal law, if that makes a difference. Also in Florida, but not Orlando.
Motion, ocean, potion.
There you go. Dan got it.
All right.
I just wanted to continue rhyming.
So it depends on the county, but most counties have an online docket. You can just log on and see what's been filed in the case. So I know they said not Orlando, but Orange has it, Seminole, Volusia, all the counties. You just go to the clerk of the court website, click search, and you can see what's been filed.
It's also fun if you have friends or neighbors that are your friends, but you don't want and they've been arrested for doing weird things. All that stuff's public record. So a lot of times, Andrea and I will lay in bed and look up people in this town and read all the intimate details of their arrests.
Oh yeah,
it's really fun.
It's fun.
Mo, did they kind of make the system a little bit user-friendly for the fact that we do have the legal right to represent ourselves
for
in court?
transparency?
No, I'm just saying so it is technically possible to represent yourself, even though highly, someone would say, do not do this.
I don't, would you even do that?
Represent yourself now.
Yeah.
So, even if you had all the knowledge, which you have, your mom, you got people that have the.
It's like doing your own surgery. It's like you shouldn't do it.
I think I would.
But as far as the system and filing stuff, do they make it a little bit easy so it's possible to do yourself, or is it still?
It's possible. It's people ask me that all the time. Can I do this myself? Yeah, sure. You can. You can go down there and get the forms and try to fill them out, and then usually they'll call back in a few weeks and be like, "Can you just do this for me? It's too difficult to figure out." So
yeah.
Interesting. You can certainly figure it out if you have the time to do it, but it's not the easiest thing in the world. It's not the most user friendly.
Yeah. And I'm sure it's antiquated, and the systems are old, and it takes a lot of experience to even do it. I imagine if I even tried, it would take me weeks just to figure out how to
turn the computer off.
Imagine if I was trying to represent myself in the court of law.
But you're the type of guy,
like the old man.
I think if I didn't know you, if you and I weren't in a business together, and if we were just friends and hung out, I could see you go through these bouts of confidence where, because you are capable. And you would dedicate yourself to it kind of like you dedicate to your gambling. It's not going to go well,
Right.
But
They'll give it a whirl.
But you'd give it a shot, I feel like, right? No? Am I wrong? I might be wrong on that.
No, well, yes.
You strike me as a represent yourself kind of guy.
I know better, though, and I know that that's how you go to jail, definitely, because for sure you're up there, and then as soon as...
I've never seen it. Have you how long have you been
like
in...
10 years.
Okay, 10 years in that world. Have you ever heard of or ever seen anybody that represented themselves that actually was, like, respectful to the judge, did protocol correctly? Because normally it just feels like they get up there and they're like, I'll be representing myself, and then they just go crazy.
Because they're usually narcissists.
That's
Or they're
usually how it
insane.
goes.
Yeah.
I would like to see the guy go, unfortunately, I am representing myself, and then him do the boring stuff like, I filed that motion, and it did this, and can permission to do whatever, like I want him to do it like you're supposed to do it.
I mean, I've seen a few people who represent themselves where the judge banned them from filing anything further because they kept filing so much nonsense.
Right.
Which is usually a
Tom
bad
Van.
sign. Yeah.
Because you are in it so much that you know.
That's going to be my biography name. Tom Van filing nonsense.
And it's a picture of you filing your teeth.
Yeah. Because at a certain point, the judge is like, that's it. I can't take it anymore, right?
Well, I mean, they have to put up with a lot of nonsense because they just have to sit there and listen to whatever walks in for the most part. And then you'll get calls from people who did it, and they're like, I lost everything in the divorce. Can you help me? I'm like, well, not really.
Not now. right.
Yeah. This is the reason you did this to yourself.
We have a question from the chat kind of with that. It says, do lawyers actually represent themselves?
Some do. I think the smart ones probably don't, unless it's like a little minor thing. But I mean, if you were facing any serious charges or a serious lawsuit, you want to hire someone who, number one, that's their area of expertise if it's not yours, and number two, who can kind of have that sort of buffer so you're not in your own head, because you want someone who's going to advise you properly. If you're representing yourself, a lot of times you don't really see that clearly. I don't really know how to describe that, but you just kind of can't get outside your own head to really articulate the points properly because it's too personal usually.
You're so close to it.
Yeah.
Is it kind of? I'm trying to make an analogy in careers, Mo, where it's like, my wife has told me about the real estate.
That's the most
industry.
boring PlayStation game. By the way. It was called Gran Turismo. Gran Careersmo. And it was just a career.
So, and she tells me, like, from my experience, I am really good at selling houses between this price range, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know a lot about it. That's what I do. And that's where I land perfectly if you're trying to ask me questions and stuff, because it's what I know the best. Mm-hmm. Now, you're talking about when you go into selling $10 million houses, I don't have, she's like, there's a lot of different things that go into
set.
Not even skill set, just there's a whole bunch of different things, different clientele, different,
there's a bunch of little different details, right? I would imagine
details,
the process
percentages, all the stuff. And then, so I think a lot of people just like, sell a house to sell a house, right? The lawyer is a lawyer, right?
Right.
But it really has to do with how much experience you have to.
You saying lawyer's a lawyer made me laugh just because I thought of the one you had. The guy with the baggy suit.
No.
Because that's not true. It's just not.
Baggy doofus?
He was a baggy doofus.
Oh,
and
man.
but
I almost went to jail for that. And it wasn't even a crime. I didn't pay a credit card.
Didn't he make the judge mad?
Oh, yeah, we're open.
What is it?
No, because he didn't know what he was doing.
The reason I like this
She's
story,
like, you can't do that.
Number
I
one,
immediately got mad.
I get great
Scared.
enjoyment of this guy being tortured because he gets great enjoyment out of me being tortured. But just to be a fly on the wall, to sit there and watch, like as a client, as a client, watching your attorney, the guy, like Mo said, you wouldn't want to represent yourself because you'd want somebody who's like a little distant from it. They can make really good, logical decisions for you and your family and your life, man. And this guy's just sitting there pissing on the judge. And then what were you thinking?
I was thinking, I'm going to go to jail. And it taught me a valuable lesson.
Didn't he tell him to be quiet or something?
Do not hire a lawyer for predator tickets. Because that was
your lesson.
It was season tickets.
Whoa. Excuse
That was a whole
me.
$99. That was a $99, and you got 2 free beers and a hot dog.
I stole every week out of the steal.
Every week?
He went out of the prize closet.
Yeah.
So it's different seats every week?
I tell the intern, I'm like, hold 2 for my lawyer.
The guy's like, these are season tickets, but all of my tickets are in different areas. Yeah, that's that new variety pack you get. They switch it around so you can get a different view every game.
I hope Mo's trying to figure out if that's true or not, just so he's like...
Well, I mean, he can always go pull he can dig in the archives and find it's totally true.
Because in the back of your mind, you're like, well, maybe he's just exaggerated. That couldn't be
I think he knows.
Here's another detail I like. His desk was up on books. When you went to meet with him, like, his desk was lifted.
Yeah. That's, so
the cleaning people could vacuum and get the Cheez-It crumbs out from it.
And every time I raised my voice in his office, the Billy Bass would start singing. I'm not joking.
If your lawyer has a Billy Bass
turn it off. Can we keep the DBs down? I just put fresh double A's in there.
Oh my God, dude. Your life's
this is all true.
I know.
I cleaned myself up.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
Did you?
Yes, I did. I have stopped all those shenanigans. Or most of them. Anyway, you got another question?
We got another one from the chat. What do you do when you bought a property with an ex-fiance who's now married and lives in Spain? So they have a property here, but that person that was their fiance has now left them, moved to Spain, and married someone else.
Oh, man.
But I'm guessing the property's still in both of their names.
God, when I ever hear that a woman moves to Europe, I always think of old what's-her-name in Italy, the love triangle, the murder.
Oh, Amanda Knox.
Amanda Knox, yeah. Yes. That I always think Foxy Knoxy, and then immediately I think this listener's fiance that went away, like, he's hot as hell.
Foxy Knox.
And this guy's a big turd. You deserve everything you got, sir. Yeah. She's happy. Leave her alone. She's in Spain now.
So, yeah, I wonder what if you did own a property with someone else.
You can't sell it, right, if someone else's name on it?
Yeah, you'd have to file a partition action where basically it forces them to off the property by sale, and then you basically buy it out from them as part of the lawsuit. So
that sucks.
You have to file the partition action, have them served if you know where they are. If you don't, then you'd have to serve them by publication, most likely, then go through the whole process, and then eventually you'd basically have to kind of buy them out.
I love served by publication.
It makes absolutely no sense.
It's cool, though. You buy the thing and you put it into the world. We should start just serving everybody.
Well, I want
to serve everybody.
Well, what's funny about that?
Yeah, I want to just buy Orlando Sentinel. I'm serving everyone.
Literally, if someone is like, you have to put something out into the world, but if someone sees it, you'll be killed. I'll be like, put it in the Orlando Sentinel. Look, seriously, like that's even if putting it on my Facebook, I would be more nervous. Yeah, like that. And I know that. How is the court system dealing with a world where
That's a great question.
You used to have to post things in the newspaper. There's legally hey, before you sell this property, or you have to put it out there in the world, and it was the newspaper, right?
It changes things, right?
So, and now you put something in the newspaper, it's that's definitely a way for nobody to see it. And have they changed that?
No, they just ignore technology.
Yes!
He loves it. Look how happy he is.
White wind.
I've never seen you fist bump before.
There's an old courthouse. He was like, what's that?
You can pretty much guarantee nobody is going to read that or see it. But
I've never seen one. That's the thing is I know of them, but I can honestly tell you guys, as many newspapers as I've read, even as a producer where I had to read it, right? Mm-hmm. I've never seen. I know of what he's talking about. Never seen one.
Yeah.
Where would I go to even find that?
I mean, usually people wouldn't even post them in the Orlando Sentinel, at least historically, because that was more expensive. You'd do a Jewish heritage paper, like Osceola Times.
Or
a penny paper. Shoot low. You'd find something that was reasonably
cheaper. Yeah.
What about that Castleberry Chronicles?
That's what I'm talking about. I have a big deal with him right now. I'm trying to work a deal with him.
It's the whole thing is coconut rind. Dusty. Anyways, it is ridiculous that there's still these antiquated rules of hey, you got to post it in some publication, and if you put it in the Castleberry Chronicles, all right. Although
I have an update, I can see again.
Okay, yeah. It comes and goes.
It's back. And boy, is it you guys. Feel a lot better.
Another question from the BDM group. Why do law firms have repetitious names? Smith & Smith, Diaz, Diaz & Diaz. Why not just have the Diaz law firm, like the DeWitt law firm?
Because I feel
it makes no sense.
I feel like when you do that, you're letting people know that you have cared for people and their legal needs in the community for generation after generation. You're going to be here for them generations after that.
Oh, I like that. It's
That's a good answer.
Father,
it's all
son,
BS, but I think that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah, there used to be something that you should have 3 names in a law firm. So then, if it was just family, they just pick 3 of the people who are lawyers and put their name in the title. But that's why even larger law firms are Smith Jones and Bartow or something. There's just something that you're supposed to have 3 names. I think people have gotten away from that, but that was kind of like the standard before.
Gotcha. And then also there's people like partner up with law firms, and then when they morph, they'll just use the both names or some of that too.
Yeah, and they used to, actually when one partner would die, they would change the name. And there's a few law firms in Orlando whose names keep changing all the time, which I think is just confusing, but that's what they do. So that's kind of a more old school thing.
Sometimes they used to split. I remember as a kid, there were law firms that you would hear commercials because all we had was radio. And then I remember as a kid, it was one of the first times that I was like, oh, what happened? I was like, oh, it's just that name now, not with the other name. Yeah, and then you'd hear another commercial for the other person, and I was like, ooh, spill the teas. They got mad at each other.
Hatfield and McCoy.
Yeah, I was like, something's going on here.
Yeah, well, I mean, you remember Morgan, Colling, and Gilbert.
Yeah,
and then
Morgan, Colling, and Gilbert.
Split apart at some point. It became Morgan and Morgan. But.
Yeah.
What are we? We should have been Van Dennis.
Or Pigman and Whaleman.
We didn't have that one. I never got that shirt, and I'm still upset about it.
We're not as Whaleman and Pigman, though, now.
That's true, but still the essence is there. I'm one Adderall away from
Oh, my God. Are you crazy?
I'm going to hide your Adderall.
Oh, blow back up fast.
Every night, I balloon up to 189. And then every morning, back down 156, 154. I'm bouncing around.
I'm jogging.
It's weird. I don't know how it happens, and it's got to be horribly unhealthy.
Any more questions, Sam?
We have one from Joshua Fowler. He says, does he actually like me?
Ouch.
Yeah.
Why are you on Facebook?
Should be working,
Here's
right?
what I would say. Which one of us are you talking about?
He's talking to Travis Butler.
Oh, no.
And then Travis just replied, yes, I do like you. Want to meet for beers now. Travis, you're supposed to be working.
Here's one. In the state of Florida, if a paternal parent has had no contact or inquiry for said child, do they still have a parental right?
They do until the parental rights are terminated, but one basis to terminate parental rights is abandonment. So if they've abandoned the child, then you can terminate their parental rights. Usually you're doing that when a step-parent's adopting them.
Right.
So if you have a step-parent who wants to adopt them, you can terminate the other parent's parental rights.
And speaking of processes, that's a hard one to go through. The state doesn't grant that easily. They need a lot of different evidence, right?
Well, if you have someone who's willing to adopt the person and the other parents abandoned them, typically they'll grant it, but you have to go through the procedures where you have to make sure you give everyone notice, because notice is very important there, because they don't want people's parental rights being terminated without them knowing about it, essentially.
I like it when the dad shows up to court and he hasn't seen the kid in 5 years, and then he wants to fight for the right to have the right. You haven't even been here.
I'm finally here, and just the fact that I'm finally here makes me a goddamn hero.
It's 5 years you had no contact, you haven't paid no child support, nothing, and then they served you paperwork, and that was what motivated you.
I am here to fight for Barry. I am here for him.
It's man, how are you not more embarrassed?
I will be representing myself.
Absolutely.
Aren't you embarrassed? Don't you just be don't show up, and then they'll just do the It's like getting sued for a credit card debt. You just don't show your face because you know what you did.
Yeah.
You know.
You do know.
Yeah.
My favorite is I've had cases before where I represented the husband, and we showed up to court, and he was like, "Who's that?" And I go, "That's your wife." And he goes, "That's my wife?"
Oh my God.
That sounds fake. Really?
Yeah, they hadn't seen each other for a few years for whatever reason, and either they gained a lot of weight or lost a lot of weight or something.
I hope she got super hot after she left him.
Was it like one?
I don't remember which way it was.
Yeah, but I mean, that is hilarious. Who's that?
I don't think they have a beer with that man. Just because even if I didn't recognize
you better drink a beer tonight because you're so close. You're so close.
Well,
you're literally only a divorce away from being that.
I wouldn't say that out loud. I'd say it in my mind, because I'd be embarrassed and be like, "How do you not recognize your wife? That's now suing you for divorce."
You and Tommy have this way of focusing into things. I mean, who knows? Who knows how vivid your memories are? Although your memory is very good. That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
God,
I
that's
can
hilarious.
see it. Anyway, if you're injured on the go, just call Mo. I know we talked about this before, but Mo's got literally 24-hour call line support.
In
So
Samantha's group, in the Semantics group, by the way, check out that podcast if you're looking for something to listen to. Somebody even asked a question, I believe, about family law.
Yep, that was just recently. Yeah,
and
I can go check it out.
Yeah, I think it was like.
Does the DeWitt law firm
yeah.
cover family law? Yes, yes, they do.
Yes, absolutely. So go handle your business with Mo.
Yep, and definitely if something happens and you are injured, just call Mo and see what your rights are. You don't want to be screwed or screw your family or make the wrong decision. Just check with Mo.
That's
the easiest
that
thing
Mo
to do,
was
right?
too loud. I'd like to apologize for that.
If you don't know, just call Mo.
what was
check,
this?
I said check with Mo.
I don't know.
If I know, you know, you know.
Yeah, if I know,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know. Yeah.
Butler, copyright that. Does mailing things to yourself still work? I have mailed.
good question.
You should see the bundle of mail. That
It's all over his
the
desk.
whole ideas that I mailed to myself. That I'm like,
We both are dying.
But you know what happened?
Too much caffeine.
Yeah, we both. And look what I drank.
oh no, don't drink that.
Don't show Mo that.
Do
We
you
don't
see
need
me
to know.
sweating? Do you see how bad
You
I'm
don't
sweating?
need more caffeine.
You're spitting everywhere.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Are cough gagging everywhere.
Well, it's because we have.
Oh, you got the vaccine.
Yeah.
I almost
only
got
have
it
half
just
the vaccine.
same.
I only have half the vaccine.
Yeah, it doesn't even count yet.
That's
No,
half as
it
good.
doesn't
It's
count.
fine.
And what does that mean, right? Like the vaccine.
I think half is like 80%. That's what my mom said.
I know.
Yeah, your mom's a doctor now.
My mom got half. She's like, I'm
Mama
80%,
Van,
I'm
doctor.
80% fine. I'm like, boy, spit in her mouth.
Oh my God, I've seen that porno.
80%. Sorry. Mo, I apologize.
We gotta get Mo out of here.
Yeah, I know. All right. Intro to the go. Just call Mo.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha's here. Butler not here. Still on vacation.
When does
I
that
don't
guy
even
get
know
back?
what that. I don't even know what that means anymore.
I think he's coming back tomorrow.
Now, does he have to quarantine?
That's what I asked.
No. We're
open, baby.
Yeah.
Makes me feel better.
I think they have no corona in St. Lucia. That's what I heard.
That's what I heard too.
They don't like the sun.
No,
it all
it's
just
the
fade
sun.
away.
The sun
It'll melt it.
one day
Yeah.
we'll all wake up and this thing will just disappear. But only if you're drinking your bleach.
So I love adventure. I love a good
You like great feet.
Feet of
string. Yeah,
great
that is
feet.
why we originally got this email. Yeah.
You got great feet, girl. That's what this bit's called.
OnlyFans,
I
great
like
feet.
challenges where people challenge themselves
Right,
to
endurance challenge.
You don't like-
endurances.
You
Yeah.
never get inspired yourself, but you like it when other people are inspired. Maybe they watch a movie or see somebody that does a great thing and they say, you know what, maybe I can do something that's equally just as great.
I kind of live vicariously through them because doing it yourself is too hard.
It is very
and I'm
hard.
too lazy to do it
Yes.
myself.
Now you're talking.
But I respect the people that do this, but also question if it's really that good at the end too, which that's what makes me constantly talk to these people because they always got another adventure planned.
Yeah. Right.
And their last adventure doesn't matter because planning
That's not what
that
I
on to the
want, though.
next.
Now we're
Yeah,
gonna pull our guest up. He's actually, again, it's my favorite thing now that we do a video show. My favorite thing is that the guest will sit in the bottom left-hand corner of our video
As we talk about
as
them.
we talk about them, and then you, as the viewer, get to watch how uncomfortable their eyes. I'm surprised nobody's just held up a piece of paper yet, and then they've revealed themselves. But we do have a guest that has done an adventure that you're very similar to what you're describing. You have the opportunity to pick this guy's brains. I'm going to pull him up now.
it's a quest.
Yeah,
I
this-
love quests.
This is Gary Quest.
How you doing, Gary?
Hey, Dan, doing well. Thanks so much for having me on. I really
only-
appreciate being on.
Only said
I've
hi to
listened to
Dan.
y'all for a number of years.
Yeah, well, fellow Questers only talk to other
Right.
Questers.
Oh, come on. No, Gary knows. So
Tom's right. The only quest I go into is for blood tests. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that, and that's only if LabCorp's because LabCorp opens 1 hour earlier.
So, Gary, how you doing, by the way?
I'm doing really well.
So, didn't need to ask that. That's
No.
totally stupid.
You know what? I'm glad you started with a hard-hitting question.
What if he was doing terrible? Then what?
No one ever says that.
No, they don't.
Nobody does say that.
Except Tuttle.
And how could you be
Then we're
doing
like, we know. What should I ask you?
Yeah, how could you be terrible and look like Gary? Gary looks like a happy guy.
So, Gary, tell us about your quest and how it started.
Well, it started with I've been bike packing for a number of years here in the state of Florida. So bike packing, for those who don't know, essentially it's like backpacking, but instead of hiking and carrying the gear in a backpack, you put all the gear on your bike. So you load your gear on the bike with different packs, and then you bike a course based on some GPS coordinates. And I've done that for a few years here in the state of Florida.
Now,
the Cross Florida Individual Time Trial, so from New Smyrna Beach over to Crystal River.
oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So this is a thing just like hiking or camping or anything. Like people get into it, and then I'm sure there's enthusiasts and there are Reddit pages and there's Facebook pages and all about
It's a
bike
whole
packing.
community, yeah.
Is that true?
Absolutely. It's a real cool group of individuals. You can, go through a course as fast as you want or as slow as you want. You go as teams, groups. It's a real cool community to be involved in.
Well, you're using an interesting word because I wouldn't put cool as the moniker because there's all these guys, and
What's cool to him,
Gary.
Well,
They're all just they're different. Okay, there's a bunch of different nerds.
Do you mean
there's
cool as in like people look at it and immediately go, "That's cool"?
Well, the type of individual you have to be to do this and to get into it, you're eventually a nerd of some category, and these are adventure nerds,
like bike nerds
or
too.
outdoor fitness nerds, or mountain bike nerds. You're always a nerd of whatever you're into to a point where you have a.
I'm a porn nerd.
Yeah, like a plant nerd. I'm gonna get like a marijuana and plant nerd. There's all types of nerds.
Boy, we're the lowest two nerds.
So, now what are some of the trails that people would know about? Because I imagine you can't just freely camp on any trail. There's different regulations and there's lots of trails that you can't camp on. So I'm sure
It could be private property, right?
Yeah. How does that work?
Sure. So here in the state of Florida, there's a few different individuals who put together courses, and then they secure the permitting, allowing us to, traverse through those different parks and areas during a certain time. Right now with COVID, the way they've restructured the events and the races is they do like an on your own edition. So for the entire month of March, you could do a race. So you can go out any weekend, anytime. You record the event on your GPS device and then report that to the race organizer at the end. So that's how we kind of
That's pretty
get
cool.
around those different regulations.
Yeah, that way you don't have to start and stop with everybody else, and you can also be safe and distance yourself. That's kind of neat.
So,
and the GPS, I guess, wouldn't lie. There's really no way to cheat it because it's a start and stop deal.
oh, you could cheat it. I thought of 10 ways right now. Like I'd put my GPS tracker on some sort of electric bike and not, it doesn't have to be human power. And then I'm the
Does
fastest.
that sound fun to you? Like you're just like,
Well,
Cheating is always fun, Tom.
Yeah, it's only about Tom
boy,
Van
he really came at that fast, didn't he?
and then the other people on Reddit are like, this guy cheated. I looked at his Facebook page. He's no athlete. He's a fat turd. But no, wait.
Fat turd.
He cheated.
He's a fat
Anyway.
turd.
So
Is
Gary,
it cheat nerd?
yes, they're cheating nerds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And they're fat turds.
Gary, I imagine that
Gary's like me. You hear the phrase fat turd, you crack up.
Well, I'll explain where I imagine the nerd part comes into this, because there's also survivalists and camping nerds that really nerd out about getting their pack and their equipment down
Hyper-organized.
hyper-organized and efficient.
You're like a chopper, meaning they take everything that's not useful off of the backpack.
Yes, because it's all a weight game,
Yep.
especially in everything.
Especially if you're a fat turd. It's all a weight
Well,
game.
it's all about if you're going to have to bring all your food and camping equipment, you want to get it down to
Right.
the smallest amount possible. So how long did that take you, Gary, where you figured out exactly what you need for a trip? No frills, you take out comfort stuff and creature comforts and stuff?
I don't even know what to pack just to go on vacation.
Yeah. So how did that process go?
Yeah, so definitely a process, learning by doing. And then also some of the websites, people have incredible lists of what to bring, recommendations, talking to other people who do the sport. learning from them. And a lot of folks will bring a lot of stuff. Like you can bring an actual tent. They make special lightweight tents to attach to your bike. That way, 3 to 5 pounds. And then you get to your, night camp spot and you set up your tent and then you roll out the next day. I don't generally bring a tent. My bike is a little bit unusual. It's a little bit bigger than other bikes, so it's a little bit heavier. So
I don't know if you know this, Tom, but Gary is 7'8", and he has to ride a specialized bike where his tires are 72 inches.
Oh my God!
Like he's no. In all seriousness, you're a big guy, right?
Yeah, I'm 6'7", so I have a custom 36er mountain bike. The standard is 29 inch, so my wheels are 36 inches each, 3 feet.
Monster
so my entire bike is like 7 feet wide.
Oh my God.
My God.
So
it's your shelter? You use your bike as your shelter?
Big Mambo bike.
Yeah, he does.
So it's great for me because it's something I finally fit in, It'll be like, someone else out there riding a BMX bike through one of these events. It's,
the amount of calories and the amount of calories you must burn as a giant doing this.
Well, I think, for people that don't camp, they see like westerns and cowboy movies of people just like...
Where you just lean up against a tree, put your hat over your eyes.
They see cowboys in the desert and
put your gun in your hand.
And they sleep with their saddle as their pillow and their hat over the face, and then they wake up in the morning, kick the fire out, and keep going. But
you tie your horse to a cactus.
What they don't realize, that's the desert. We live in the GD swamp. If we wake in the morning,
you ate alive by bugs.
Yeah, so you sleep without a tent. Just the morning dew will completely cover. I
love Mountain Dew. I drink it every morning.
One of my drunk buddies fell asleep by the fire and slept all night when we used to do the camping trip, and woke up he's drenched because of the amount of dew in the morning. And then he's like, like you can't just sleep outside, or you have to be fine with waking up drenched and cold as hell. How do you do it?
So I ride as far as I can until I'm exhausted, and then I sleep for a couple hours. Basically, one of those little emergency ponchos. And I can show you a little tour later, show you the bike, show you my gear, and just sleep for a few hours. I've slept in the Croom Forest, Tom, where you used to go through there with your four-wheeling buddies.
Could you smell Tom's vape pen from a mile away?
My God. How do you ride a bike through that soft-ass sand?
You hope for rain. You hope for rain the day before to pack it down a little bit.
Also, talk about climbing. The guy's 6'8". I mean, I feel like I think you push your pedal down one time and you go 4 miles.
You're just riding an endless amount of whoop-de-doos on a mountain bike. I get tired of riding on my four-wheeler.
The next step for me is to try and get a mountain bike with my family.
So Gary, we're talking. You're not camping and enjoying the experience. You're just resting to recharge your human battery.
What Gary does.
So that's my preference. That's my preference. And that helps me sleep because I've tried to camp before, and I'm ready to keep riding. I feel like I'm wasting time if I'm not moving. But other guys, they'll ride together in a big group. They'll set up a camp. They'll bring their drinks and they'll hang out, have a big campfire. And they kind of do their own style.
But you're all business. You're 6'8", Big D Gary. I know what you are. You go out there and you're running for the time.
So, this is not for fun. This is more for challenge. I mean, I'm sure it's fun to you, but you are doing it to compete.
I want to push my limit, see how far I can go, while I still can before,
how old are you?
The time catches up to me.
How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
48.
48. Oh, you look great. My God. Good living.
That's what happens when you are riding 300 miles.
That's what happens when you Zoom with an athlete. You look, oh, wow, you look amazing, Gary.
So, Gary, I also imagine that what the rest of us think of camping, we're thinking of bringing pots and pans to cook our eggy bakey in the morning.
I bring full bags of pre-cooked pasta, and I do an Italian buffet.
Yeah. We're like, I remember the Grizz one time bought a
oven. He bought an oven. Yes, I was
like a camping oven to cook.
He made brownies, Tom. He made brownies.
Some ridiculous garbage.
I was on this trip. He also made pizzas.
So imagine, Gary, you are eating calories and nutrition in bar form, and you're not cooking an eggy breakfast because that's too much work and way too many stuff to bring, right?
Yeah. So you try to bring food on the bike. You're also allowed, depending on rules and the course, that you can stop and procure food. You just can't preset drop points for yourself. But say you're going through a rural part of Florida, you can hit the kangaroo, the chevron, the shell. So sometimes in there you get those delicious sandwiches.
That's a neat.
You can go to one kangaroo.
Yeah, I like that. You get to swing through. You get a cheese stick and a Bahama Mama, so you ensure that you have straight diarrhea on your cycling shorts. You're eating a bright pink Bahama Mama sausage, and you're also eating a small bag of Flamin' Hot Funyuns.
Yeah, that food is so good after you've been eating bars all day.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, but it doesn't give you. Don't you poop your cycling pants?
No, Gary, he's 6'7". His torso's so long, it takes him an hour just to get it through its small intestine.
But you know what happens when athletes eat kangaroo garbage? They poop their pants because they're eating lean protein bars for 2 days, and then you eat some Bahama Mama pink sausage.
What did I eat the other day? I ate a Slim Jim. I ate a 2-foot-long Slim Jim in here that I found in the closet, and it really screwed me up bad.
Yeah. So it seems like as an athlete, Gary, you'd be hindered by the kangaroo.
The body needs the calories when you're just burning calories. So that kind of food, your body just soaks it up. The fat turns it instantly to energy. And there's not too much pooping because your body's using everything up.
That's true.
So, Gary, what's the longest trail? And then we'll look at some of your equipment. But like in Florida, like you know how like the Appalachian Trail or whatever, it actually runs like through state, some enormous amount of distance. Do they have anything like that in Florida where there's trail systems that we don't know about that go from like Tallahassee down to Miami or something? Like I know that every once in a while you have to cross OBT or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like you have to go
that's
through.
When it breaks, that's where you have to suspend disbelief almost.
Yeah.
It's like you're in the middle of like this wilderness and a swamp, and then you have to go like over a tiny bridge over a vape store, and then down. Then you're back in the woods again. But it's weird how you drop in and out.
How does that work?
Yeah, so there's 3 main courses in Florida. There's what's called the CFIT Cross Florida Individual Time Trial that goes across the state from New Smyrna to Crystal River. Then there's what's called the Hurricane Route. It's a huge loop, about 350 miles through Central Florida. So you're going by Lake Apopka, Claremont, Sanford, all the way over.
That's cool.
Through Brooksville. And then there's what's called the Florida Divide. And the Florida Divide, there's a couple different routes, but one route just comes straight down the spine of Florida from Georgia to the Everglades. So that's the short version. You could go from Georgia all the way down to Key West, mile 0. And then they've designed one that starts at the Alabama border in the Panhandle, goes across the Panhandle, and then down, and you can take that to the Everglades or down to mile 0.
Wow.
The Alabama one's fun, too, because the start of that one's terrifying because you just have racists chasing you out of the state. It's awesome. So you got to get going real fast through Georgia.
So
lots of speed traps.
Let's talk about a recent one that you did. How long was it, and where was the route?
All right, so I just did that hurricane course back in February. So it's 350 miles through Central Florida, big loop.
Jesus.
I've done it a couple of times. It was great. We kind of had to deal with a little bit of weather. There was a tornado warning the morning I was getting ready to start. So I kind of had to wait for that to pass through.
Tornado warning.
Then, it was pretty wild. And then rolled out and did the big loop in about 36 hours, I think.
So
you
did 350 miles
in 36 hours.
In 36 hours.
That's like driving from Orlando to like Key Largo because Miami's only 290. So you add 40 more miles, like you're getting down to at least Homestead or whatever. Like that's a tremendous amount of mileage on a mountain bike.
I mean, that's a lot.
That's a course that I know. So I'm familiar with it. It's Florida, so it's relatively flat. I could do about 200 miles in 20 hours nonstop is kind of my limit. Then I have to crash.
Yeah.
So I can really get out.
What's the terrain like? Are you mostly just in the saddle for that? Are you having to huff it up hills and stuff?
Yeah, it's just all sand and pine scrub. I mean, my God, like Florida wilderness, like you're in Colorado, like you hit some mountains, like it'd be a pain in the ass going up, but the down is good.
Yeah. Sometimes we get nothing.
We're at a flat.
Yeah, so, Croom, Ocala National Forest, going through there, rolling hills, sand. Then there's some single track. And it's also, there's parts of pavement, paved path where you have to connect pieces together. And then the biggest hills here in Florida are those ones out in Claremont. You guys might be familiar with those. It's a huge. The road bikers go out there a lot to train.
Yeah, we did that a couple of weeks ago with my daughter, and that was a lot of fun. But it became very. I mean, you would have to be of a certain age to do it because she's good on a bike, but even she was like up one hill, and she's like, "Gotta take a break, man." It's tough.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
So,
and then if we're talking, go ahead, Tom. Say if we're talking greatest feats, it would be the Trans North Georgia Adventure that I did back in August. So that's 355 miles across the northern Georgia mountains. So there, day one, I could only do 80 miles. In Florida, I'm doing 200. To compare it with this Georgia course, I got 80 in, and I had to crash out.
So,
and that was just constant up, down, just killing you with the relentless, never-ending climbs, and steep climbs, steep descents.
Gary, on that 80, could you tell the difference in how your body was taking it? Like when you said you had to crash out, was it one of those things where to go back to what you were saying, where you were actually pushing your limits?
Yeah, absolutely. I was hoping to make 100 miles that first day, and I couldn't even get that done, so I was a little disappointed, but I knew I had to rest and, sleep for a couple hours
excited
in the woods
too, right?
in my emergency blanket.
Yeah, I can only imagine you'd be excited too. And what sucks about that is sometimes that can eat into your stamina a bit.
So, Gary, let's talk about the motivation behind this, because it's seemingly all personal motivation. There's no monetary. In fact, you're probably spending money doing this, taking time off work, and like this is costing you money. So there's nothing monetary. This is all just personal achievement, goals you set for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm kind of at a stage in my life where I'm just really trying to challenge myself physically and mentally, push those boundaries, see what I can do. And that's like a big draw to me. And then getting those accomplishments. And like that TNGA course in Georgia, only about half the people that start finish. It's a brutal, brutal course. I don't know if you guys had a chance to see, there's an actual documentary on Amazon Prime about it.
Yeah, you send us
Ride to Extraordinary. Sam?
I watched the trailer. It's pretty intense. I sent it to you, Dan. I don't know if you guys want to watch it, but
do you want to watch the trailer?
Oh, yeah.
Or at least a little bit of it.
I can fire it up at least so you'll get it.
It's very dramatic.
Give me a second to make sure I have everything ready to go.
Yeah, so watching that trailer, then watching the documentary, that really inspired me to go and try that super hard course. I'd done, a number of courses in Florida. So it was a new challenge, see if I could do what so many people were having trouble finishing.
All right, you want to see a little bit of this?
Yes.
I would have watched this trailer and I would have been like, I could never do this.
Yeah. It's funny how someone...
it can inspire somebody.
Gary watches this, he's like, I'll do this. And we're all like, God damn, this is horrible.
Yeah. Gary,
it's like torture.
Hold your ears, Gary, to quote the Phillips file. Hold your ears. You can watch this on our YouTube channel.
Hey, I just finished just a massive climb, and
no way.
Oh man,
I give up.
It was just really hard.
You're gonna hurt. You're gonna bleed. You're gonna cry.
I wouldn't cry.
I'm old and tired. These young bucks are killing me. Struggling on the climbs today.
Okay, I think you get the idea.
Right.
Basically.
This guy is just pumping uphill in what seems like an endless uphill, forever uphill, and there's no end. That's got to be mentally excruciating.
Yeah.
And let's talk about that, Gary. What I'm building to is this is all for personal, I understand if there's $1 million prize at the end, and I understand the motivation when it comes to that, or the monetary motivation. But the only personal goal, even I understand when you told other people, friends and family, I'm going to do this, an Iron Man, then you don't want to look embarrassed in front of them because you proclaimed to everybody that you're going to do this. So you're kind of motivated by not being embarrassed by that. But when it's just yourself, and it's that first day, and you're uphill, downhill, and everything about it is miserable. What makes you push on further? How? Is there any way to explain that to us?
Yes, that internal engine. You can get to a bad place in your head. So you have to it's such a huge mental battle to keep pushing on. You get up that one hill, you have fun, enjoy the downhill. It's super fun going downhill, especially for me, Florida boy, Flatlander. I had so much fun going down. and then I just had to go right back up again.
No.
And that was kind of the price you paid. And some of the hills were so steep, the climb so difficult, I had to push the bike up. So that's an interesting part of this one particular race was, 350 miles of course, probably 40 to 50, I had to hike the bike. So I pushed the bike up these wet Georgia clay trails. My bike's fully loaded with gear, weighs, 60 pounds.
Oh,
and
man.
It's just are
there ways
really
to work?
soul crushing in a way, but you just have to push on.
Are there guys sorry, I don't mean to cut you off there. Yeah. Are there ways to ease into this? Like when you started, would you go and do like, let's say 100 miles or?
Yeah, absolutely. Train up for it. This was a big, mega distance race in the Georgia mountains. But, always train, build up your stamina, go on smaller trips, one-day trips, get your gear right.
That's nuts, man. I think the part that I'm not able to connect right now of how difficult it would be is to set myself in that wet environment that he's in and holding the bike and then having to just power on and just push it up there. Were there any points that you thought maybe were physically impossible for you to get through?
There's one particular trail they highlighted in the documentary. It's about 5 miles, basically a hiking trail. It's not even a biking trail. Georgia clay switchback, and it was all wet. So I had to push the bike up, hold the brakes so the bike wouldn't roll back down on me, then shuffle my feet up, then push it up again, and then climb. My one friend hit that area at night, and he got about halfway up and ended up just sleeping on the trail because he was exhausted and couldn't get up.
So, Gary,
man.
I also find it fascinating with these types of things, these quests, that they're you're alone. And even with Ironman competition, I talked to my brother-in-law about this. He's like, this is very solitary thing to be
intimate,
in.
yeah.
Because you are alone with your own thoughts for the most of it, and it's just pushing yourself past what you think you could do. And you start off with a big group of people and stuff, but even if you're running with a crowd, you're alone in your head, miserable, dealing with it as you have to. And so even though you're around a bunch of people, it's all solitary type of thing. So when you get out here, do you see other people with you? Do you help each other, or is it very solitary and you are just doing it by yourself?
The bike packing community in general everyone's really friendly. So you kind of help each other, you push each other along. I started out with a group, but after the first few 20 or 30 miles, we started separating, and that's okay. Some people go slower, some go faster. Throughout the course, you kind of yo-yo back and forth. I might climb up a hill better. I'll pass somebody, and then they'll catch up to me later. So you kind of go back and forth with other people and get to know some people that way, especially a multi-day event where you're going for. I finished it in just under 4 days, the TNGA.
Oh, my God.
And the last 100 miles of the course, I had hooked up with this other rider, DC Dan, which turned out not to be his name at all. And I yelled his name Dan a couple of times during the event and wondered why he didn't turn around. But so he and I just
that man was Barack Obama. Horribly wrong.
He and I stayed together the last 100 miles, and it helped. We would push each other where my spirits would drop and he would make some jokes. His spirits would drop. I would make some jokes at him. So it worked out really well. And it was just happenstance.
Until the end where he revealed, DC Dan was never my name. I'm Jersey Jerry. You'll remember me.
or you're hallucinating and a figment of your imagination.
It wasn't even real. And DC Dan was selling soap, and it was all in your mind the whole time.
I was riding one time, and I keep seeing here's a squirrel. Here's a bird, and I get up to him. It's just a palm frond blowing in the wind. And I realized
now we're talking.
Needed to sleep. So I kept seeing.
If you're just joining us, Crazy Gary's on the line. And I'm joking. I'm joking with him.
So, Gary, speaking of hallucinating and all that, do you bring any sort of relief, pain relief, something where
ibuprofen?
I'm more higher than that.
Lefty?
Just something where 2 days into it, you're like, oh my God, I'm miserable, and I'm going to take some
icy hot?
No, take some THC or some sort of pain reliever, or a little bit of Roxycontin just to get you through. You borrow it from your aunt that had cancer. What
My God.
I'm just saying some sort of performance enhancing drug, or at least
How did you nail that for me?
to numb the pain. Or do you look at that like you're cheating the system, kind of like Braveheart spitting out the potion that was going to kill him the night before, and now he got his intestines, and you wanted to feel the pain? Like, how does that work, Gary?
Yeah, I bring Tylenol. Tylenol works well when you're actively engaged in activity.
Tylenol?
My God.
Ibuprofen.
Tylenol
So that's
arthritis.
my go-to. Is
I mean,
the
at
Tylenol
least
to help
get
with
some
the aches and
Aleve
pains.
PM and party a little bit.
Yeah, so that's all. It's just Tylenol. No, like a little like airplane bottle of vodka.
Right.
Just something at night to help you
No,
sleep.
he's an athlete.
Oh, I don't need help sleeping at night. I'm out. I
Yeah,
save the
remember,
adult beverages for after the event.
Yeah, he pushes himself to the limit. And he's exhausted. He passes out. Not like us. We have all the energy inside of us. We poison ourselves to the limit. There's a difference.
Yeah.
Poison me to
You
the
can
limit.
push or you can poison.
Poison to the limit.
Poison in.
Write that down. I'm writing that song this week.
So just
That's almost as good as the bath time song. Tom.
Oh, yeah. Time for bath.
what
time.
about any amphetamine, some sort of speed to get you going?
Yes.
Caffeine.
White crosses?
Caffeine for sure, like 5-hour energy, some type of caffeine product. Keep you awake, keep you alert.
I think I'd probably have a heart attack if I did that. I'm pushing up these hills.
Yeah.
What about the doo-doo, Gary? Because
Who's doo-doo, Gary?
I imagine that you're at a place, it's just out in the woods, and do you bring toilet paper
do you
with
bring
you?
TP or wipes?
That's no.
Well, you
wipe.
bring wipes. You bring wipes in case you have to go. But, it doesn't happen too much because your body is using all the fuel you put into it. Your body's using it. So there's not much left over.
Just a little.
Yeah. There's a lot left over with those.
Yeah, that's right. They're saving it up.
I'm like,
You guys are breaking toilets like Butler.
I'm like, this is more than I actually ate. How is that possible? It's getting rid of
It's
stuff.
multiplying inside of
It's
you.
almost like there's poison coming out of my body.
It's more poison. And so, have you ever quit, Gary? Like, has there ever been one challenge that you started maybe earlier on, and you're like, "That's it, I'm done," and then do you whip yourself for quitting, or how does that work?
Yeah, 100%. My very first Cross Florida individual time trial, maybe 5 years or so back, I had never ridden more than 70 miles. So I hit 100 miles. This was great. I was so excited. And I got to 170 miles. It was the middle of the night. I was freezing cold. I fell asleep like shivering, and I bowed out at that point. And then I kicked myself ever since for doing that.
Yeah. Did you admit to your friends and family, like shame that
Yeah.
and
Did you
they
come
all
back?
I felt all the shame. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you come back and you're like, you know what? Maybe
Because
this
they're
whole
all
bike
watching
thing's
on the computer. Your course is
Oh,
no.
don't tell them to watch.
Don't tell anybody nothing.
Give them the wrong email address.
But that's when you just
Yeah, my sister's calling. Are you okay? What happened?
Oh my God! I met Jersey Jerry. He's making jokes. His name wasn't DC Dan. And
do you have any entertainment while you're riding? Do you listen to an audiobook, a podcast?
I hope you have a friend of yours drive in front of you with an Astro van with like a 42-inch TV off the back, and
Yeah.
you're watching straight up Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Or is it straight silence, you in your own head, just like push me to the limit,
Yeah,
Gary?
I want you watching the.
Oh no,
View.
music to change my mood, and then the Tom and Dan podcast.
Yeah, you put us on when you need to
Oh yeah.
Be like, I don't want to be these big fat turds.
listen
I have
to the turd.
I have a real old iPod, right? So, and on there I have some of the older episodes.
Oh, the
So
good
I
ones.
just-
Better ones.
The
yeah.
good ones.
Oh, with Rakuko and
Oh,
some of
yeah,
the
yeah.
goofiness.
Having Ross
Sounds
is here.
like good
It was a
days.
better
yeah.
show.
Yeah, the good old days, yeah.
That's what we
When
call it.
Sam was in charge of the ticket challenge, making people do rap battles.
Oh,
Good
yeah.
stuff.
So, last question, Gary. Are there any people that are in this, arena that are suspected of cheating? Like, for instance, there's got the Tom Van mountain biker, and he made this time, and he's got the GPS proof. But you're
Yeah.
like, Daniel told me they've built in like little mini engines and
Oh, yeah.
road bikes.
Oh, yeah.
for
Oh,
like,
right.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh,
so
they've been cheating in the Tour de France and all that for like, oh
Yeah.
my God, man, yeah.
So if you had
Crooked.
because nowadays with the technology, they've got electric mountain bikes, and I'm sure you could rig where you could have some sort of minor help, and if that help, like up the uphills, like just a little bit of help would like save you 25% of your power. The huge difference.
Yeah.
So, are there any cheaters that are suspected in the, bike camping,
Bike packing?
endurance, bike pack industry?
Yeah, not that I know of. If there are folks that do that, that's on them. I'm here to push myself to my limits, and that's what my friends do. So if you're cheating, that's on you.
I feel like I'm at my limit right now. I feel like I'm gauging it in my mind right now, and I feel very pushed.
Who's the Lance Armstrong of this particular world?
Please say Lance Armstrong. Because that would make me laugh.
Like, there's always the guy that's the best, and that did, like, who has done that hard-ass race the fastest?
Is it DC Dan?
Yeah, there's a few. Eddie O'Day is one guy. He helped design that Trans-North Georgia Adventure course. He rode here in Florida for a long time. But yeah, there's a few guys out there who
Eddie
can really push the limits. Hey, did you guys want to see the bike?
Yeah, let's see it. Let's see it.
All right.
Also,
let's do a quick.
Show us your treads, bro.
Yeah.
Easy.
Right?
Do you have some sort of like, I guess, bucket list ride that you always want to do? Like,
start at Rome,
like a fireball, cannonball run, like Atlantic to Pacific.
Too much fireball this weekend.
It's like to do one shot of fireball,
or like the one from Miami to Alaska. Like that's a motorcycle one.
Yeah.
But is there anything like that you've?
Well, I want to do the Florida Divide, and then I want to do the Tour Divide, which goes from Canada to Mexico down the Continental Divide through the Colorado Rockies. So that's the epitome of rides here in the U.S.
How long does that take?
2 weeks, I think, is the record. I would probably take a month or so to do it.
1 month. My God.
Yeah.
All that time just thinking about, I don't know.
Oh, well, look, he's got them posed in the yard. Those are dope bikes, man.
So this is the big boy on the left. So to the right here, the small tire, that's my double extra large 29er. And you can see it just doesn't really even compare to
Oh, my God, dude. The custom-made boy is so much crazier.
Dude, I'm glad you have it up against a wooden fence because we all know the height of that first bar that goes across it. You know what I'm saying?
It's perfect that he did this, so I know at 5'2", that your handlebars are about my eyeballs.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
That bike's as tall as Daniel.
I would love to try
my
and ride
seat's,
it.
my seat's 4 feet off the ground, and the bike is 7 feet long.
And that's everything for cyclists, if you know, I ride all the time, but everything is how your bike fits you. And so many kids around Baldwin I see that are not fitted for their bikes, and they got their knees and their eyeballs, and it's just a mess. Dude, I'd love to try and ride your bike. I bet you I couldn't even pedal it.
You probably could.
Here's some of the stuff that we use on the events.
You got your honey stingers.
Oh, you got condoms?
All right.
Yeah, you can never be too safe. He's got magnums, too.
What shoe do you wear, Gary?
You don't want to know.
Oh, yeah. Needs the big
14.
Whoa.
14.
Good Lord.
You're carrying a lot of extra weight.
Yeah, you really are.
Yeah, it's unfair.
How tight are your compression pants?
Too tight.
Yeah.
My God. Everybody's going to be like, why do you have your backpack down there?
Here's the old the Tom and Dan podcast right there.
Look at that old iPod.
Oh, well, my God, Gary. The 2005
we're going to buy you a new iPod. Jesus
We
Christ.
should.
We're sponsoring you.
They got your iPods in your phone now, Gary. You're gonna.
I have to conserve my phone battery.
Do you bring some sort of emergency, or is it just your phone? Because I'm sure you have no reception.
He brings a double-barrel shotgun on his backpack.
Yeah, because there's probably a lot of areas you're riding through with no reception. Like, what happens if you get bit by a snake or you fall down?
It's the Spot satellite tracker. So it tracks you by satellite. It has a 911 feature, which we'll call an emergency response. Or another feature which you can press and your friends could come help you out if it's not an emergency.
Those are big in skiing.
One of those.
No, those are big in skiing.
Also hiking,
I saw them all over Aspen or Snowmass. That people don't know what they're doing by those. So when they fall off the cliff, they can hit the button and the rich people coming down.
Yeah, it's a great comfort to have that with you.
Do you put the Baby Yoda on your bike?
I did for this last hurricane event because it was
Tom
popular.
hates it. Tom hates
It's because you're getting older, Gary. It's because you and when you get an older man, you cannot resist the stuffed animal bungee combo.
Gary,
you're an old man, Gary.
So far, I liked everything about you. I'm like, Gary's a real man. He's super logical.
He wrote your name on a pad, but he's scratching it out right now.
He put a heart next to it.
I'm like, Gary weighs all his supplies, so he doesn't bring anything that's overweight, exactly what he's going to consume, the lightest everything. the logic. And then when I saw that baby Grugo or whatever the hell his name.
Oh, wait, hold on. If you're going to get his name right, then you're just as bad as Gary.
You got it wrong. It's Grogu, not Grugo.
That was for Butler. A little tip of the hat to Butler.
No, he got closer
that guy's
to
on
me.
vacation for a month.
Tip of the hat. Butler's not wearing a hat.
He's also in the Caribbean. He's got COVID. For sure. Because he tried to buy drugs from some sort of screw face that coughed COVID right in his face. Please.
He's the only guy I know that would buy a used vape tank in St. Lucia just so he could get high.
Yeah.
You don't have the Camel bag, by the way, which...
no, those are for... Come on.
When you're a big fatso and I see you have one...
I'm like, what's in that?
I see people at music festivals with it.
No,
Like,
it's all fat
it.
people.
Give me a break.
Like, I see fat people, I'm like, what's in that, butter?
I'm also like you don't need the, like...
What do you get, a hydrate? The first thing you need to start about, your feet are purple. Start there.
You need to dehydrate. You have too much liquid. So, do you have one of those, or you just do straight sports bottle?
Yeah, I don't use the backpack because that's too much weight on the shoulders for the long distance.
Yeah.
So I just keep everything on the bike, let the bike take the weight.
Yeah, that's for fat guys at EDM festivals.
Exactly. Or guys
You're
that are
not
like,
wrong.
you know what, I see him around here, it's fat guy decided to jog one time. What does he do? He goes out and buys a Camel bag, he fills it full of Diet Mountain Dew, puts it on, he runs one time, he's sucking it down. I know, I see you out there.
He's full flavor Gatorade Fierce purple.
You got he's getting the limited edition Code Red Major Melons Mountain Dew. It's pink. It's called Major Melons.
Full.
Oh, he's drinking it.
48 grams
This
of sugar.
Camelback's great as I go to each Pokestop. I'm looking at you, big fat EJ.
Oh.
EJ's body style is Camelback.
Well, Gary, I feel like I would do this, but I would need some sort of electric bike or electric mountain bike.
Well, that's not doing it then.
Like, I like the motorcycle one. The extreme exercise part of this, that's where I'm just not that guy. Like the extreme exercise guy.
Yeah, but you do want to do these things because I see how long you hesitate on Facebook when somebody does a Tough Mudder and you look at it with all the envy in your eyes and you want to strap on when they do color runs and Tough Mudders and all that. You want to be that guy, but you also hate those guys.
I like the call. What's that movie where the guy goes and lives in the bus in Alaska?
Into the Wild.
Into the
Wild.
Yeah, I like a combo between Speed and Into the Wild.
Into the Speed.
See, I don't like. I like to go out with no plan and then die in a bus.
Wait, we could do that this weekend. That was like my bachelor party.
Yeah, but right before I die, I realize, oh my God, I ate the goddamn like the berries that are poisoning me.
They're not going to find me.
Yeah, and then I
And
realize
then eventually they're going to come and take this bus away because people are going to want to die of the berries. 'Cause people are so stupid, they're going to emulate my berry death. That's how stupid people are.
Then you have to carry the bus out of there because, like,
You know what? This is why we can't have a abandoned bus.
Yeah.
Why can't we leave the junk bus in the woods? Because kids are going there and eating the berries. They're emulating the berry guy. They're killing themselves. Well, take the bus. I get the helicopters.
God damn it.
This is why I hate everybody.
Yeah.
Sorry, Gary.
All right, Gary. Do you have any way people can follow you? You got some social media? Because I'll follow you.
I'd love to keep up with you, man. And unlike your family, when I watch your GPS, I'll root for you. I'm not going to get mad at you because you're shivering in the cold.
Oh, well, I didn't think of that. Gary Kors on Facebook, I guess, is my main social media.
All right.
Yeah, we went on
That'd be the best
we
way
poured
to
on a
find
little
me, I
strong, didn't we,
suppose.
Gary? Yeah.
I have to be a little bit more active in the BDM groups. You know, I'm a BDM, so I need to be a little more active there.
You don't have to. No.
Yeah. They're all. I mean, it's,
I prefer a
You're
silent
better than
partner.
that.
I prefer a silent partner.
Yeah, there's a bunch of Mike B. There.
If Mike B, I'm a genius. Follow me for other great recipes.
Yeah, then there's the. Have you seen the Discord, Gary? Oh
No,
man,
don't go there.
Don't go in the Discord.
Don't
Gary.
go there.
Unless you're going to, number one. you know.
Put some pictures next time you're on an adventure, a quest of just like, hey, I'm in the middle of the night, I'm camping by myself, just to
Yeah.
remind us how big of a
Right.
Sorry, I have to cut that out. But I like to see that when I'm sitting at home watching reruns of Saturday Night Live on my couch, and you're sleeping on the side of a mountain after biking for 20 hours. It just reminds me of how weak I am, and I think everybody needs to do that. You see another human doing unbelievable things, you're like, my God, I'm weak. Anyway, all right, Gary.
Well, my next event, I'll do that. I'll make sure to post and give you guys some credit. Maybe I get my hands on one of those hats, Tom.
No, straw hat. I'll send you a straw hat.
If you wear it on your ride, Tom will send you that.
It'll slow him down.
That's true.
Yeah, we need a swim cap or something. Fast.
All right, Gary, take it easy. Be safe out there.
All right, guys.
All right,
Thanks.
see you, man. Be good. All right, that is
Gave him a be safe out there. I haven't done that in a while.
I know. Well, we got weird at the end because we poured it on thick for Gary, and he had the second thoughts at the end. He's like, well, the first part of the interview was pretty normal.
Yeah, but I think this is the rest of the part of that.
They went crazy at the end, and they're talking about the bus
I'm not
and the
telling,
berries.
I'm not telling my family about this. All right, bye-bye. Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I am Dom.
Dom.
Which is a mixture of Tom and Dam.
Damn, and
man,
and I am Tam, which is a mixture of Tom, Dan, and Dam.
Hit the buttons.
And I'm Sutler.
I'm staring at the buttons.
Futler.
Sutler.
Oh, Sutler.
Sam and Butler. Sutler.
I just imagined Butler with your boobs. I don't know why. It's what I
Hairy.
I imagine him there. I was like, guys, his implants are too big. It was like they're stretched, they're tight, like cannonballs under there. All right, this guy want to get some money from you. I figure you're loopy today. I might as well launch this at you and see if I can make our listeners happy.
Hey, BDM here. I don't know if you can hear me really well. I'm using my car audio and I'm driving home from work. I'm listening to the OG show, and you were saying that Tom was saying that I'll give $100 to anyone that can prove that they needed their 7-Eleven receipt. And I need to keep my 7-Eleven receipt because for work, I drive a company truck. So whenever I get gas, I need to keep the receipt so they can log it. So, Tom, if you're the man that you are, that you say you are,
call out.
Be a man of your word. Give me $100. Later.
Here's why I'm not going to pay you.
Not a man of his word.
No, I am.
He thinks he
because if you would have listened to that segment, now I'm not exactly sure what I said.
Right. So you didn't listen to the segment.
You should say that at the end and not at the beginning.
But
don't open with that.
What I meant.
It's all intent.
Yes,
it is all intent.
My intent and the bet, the spirit of the bet was show me a reason why you need a receipt for all the garbage inside stuff. Like, yes, you need a gas receipt to show your business when you're on a business trip or whatever for fuel expenses. That makes sense. Of course, that exists.
But if you buy a taquito.
That's what I mean. It's the spirit of why do I need a receipt for a donut and coffee or any of the garbage?
Well, there are some places that will reimburse you for you get a per diem, right?
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's not what this gentleman said. He said gas.
No. I'm not trying to make you lose. Yeah, this guy did say gas, and so
I
mean, should you have to tighten up your bets a little bit though? And now you're leaving them wide open like a bag of leaves. It's wide open.
I'll always leave them open. We're open, baby. But I should. I'll send you a straw hat.
Oh, my God.
That's enough proof for one straw hat.
You have no idea who it was. So that's good.
Yeah, I like that.
I'll just say that.
Hey, you want a free straw hat, but you cannot collect by calling. You have to write us a handwritten letter. And you have to send us a box with postage on it to send the hat back to you. Look, if you will go through the trouble of sending me a ginormous refrigerator box in the mail with the postage to send it back to you filled with hundreds of shirts, I'll send you everything we got. But none of you will do that.
That's what I'm talking about, sir. I mean the stupid stuff. There's no reason for a receipt for all the taquitos and garbage.
Okay, this one's kind of
buying a White Claw.
Yeah,
I need a receipt to prove this.
This one's kind of funny, so I'll go to this one.
It's Mike B from the On Our Radio Show. It's Mike B. Dude, I've never seen Mike B before. Actually, no, I take that back. I saw him on Facebook and dude, whoa, that mustache is that's something else, man. And I'm leaving Walmart right now, And as I walk out with my car, I look over and I see somebody. Well, first of all, I hear Tom and Dan like playing from a speaker, and I'm like, oh, BDM around here. And I look over, and it's Mike B standing in the shade. I didn't say hi to him or anything because I mustache, dude. That thing is something else in real life. That I feel like I could smell that thing. It is gnarly, man. Mike B, you need to shave that thing off. Yeah, I just thought it was funny. I could hear Tom and Dan. I guess he's listening to you guys live, and he's just standing. He's just standing in front of Walmart.
And he took a picture and he sent it to you. You want to see it?
Was it Mike B?
Yeah, it is.
Bye.
It's Mike B.
Let's see it.
Hold on. Mike B is just standing in front of Walmart.
Currently.
He could have been on his break or something.
Listening to our show on his phone, on the
Maybe
speaker.
he's promoting us.
Why is he doing it? Like, not even
I
through
hope
the earbuds?
it's not Mike B.
No, it's 100% Mike B.
Is that him?
Oh, yeah, that's him.
Why is he standing in the shadows?
He's waiting for the Uber to come pick him up.
The catacombs of Walmart.
Here, I'm going over to it. All right, there he is. He's just. I'll go wide.
Yeah.
I'll go wide. There he is.
Who gets a cart for that little amount of items?
That's true. That's
he's also appears to be wearing tall, big I fought in Afghanistan boots. He's got big Afghanistan boots on, khakis.
Yeah. My God,
he's got ginormous Highway Patrol mirrored sunglasses on. And he's pushing. He's just standing.
There's 2 bags in that cart. That's it.
I know you don't need a cart, man.
Mike B looks like he was a worm that transformed.
Earthworm Jim?
Earthworm Jim.
Yeah, it's Earthworm Jim.
Yeah, there he is.
He looks like a worm. I can't even say it.
He looks like a worm.
He looks like a worm.
You are becoming Rodney Dangerfield. Hey, look at him over there. He's becoming a worm. I can't even say it. No respect. A worm. You're becoming Rodney Danger Worm. You're now Rodney Danger Worm. That's your new name. What is happening to you today?
God damn.
What do we even do on the show? You guys want to talk about Bitcoin? What do you want to talk about?
What Walmart is that?
The big one. The big one where bad things happen. Do you know?
Okay, well, I guess I'll ask.
I didn't want to say. No,
that's all of them, I feel like.
That didn't narrow nothing
Isn't
down.
that the one where the cop got killed?
I have no idea.
I believe so.
How do you know that?
Because just the outside, I can look at it like I saw it on the news
They
a
all look
million
the
times.
same.
Yeah.
No, they don't.
Well, it's got a big trash bush in front of it. That kind of trash bush only exists in
okay, here we'll do
one
another
area.
one. There's your Mike B sighting.
Okay.
Is this what Mike B wanted? Like he wanted
Yes,
to
he
be
does.
Bullied by random listeners
like-
and find him in front of Walmart and say
Yeah.
he stinks.
This being a character on our show has not financially helped them at all.
No.
like
No.
zero.
No, it's hurt him.
Yeah, but I think it's hurt him. Yeah,
It's
you're
hurt
right.
him.
And all he gets is other strangers taking random pictures of him
while he hides in the catacombs.
and making fun of the way he looks. That's what you wanted? That's what you wanted.
Yeah, he just wants the attention.
you
It's
don't-
fine.
does he
That,
like it?
but it's not even good.
Sam says he's totally okay with
Yeah.
it.
Who wants it? It's like, yeah. I'm like, who
He's
wants
just happy people know his name.
Okay,
Is
I
that-
think,
is
I
that
think
right?
there's some truth to that. I can tie another
What
voicemail
value
into
is
it.
that?
Guess who called in and
Might be.
reared his head. Never thought I'd hear from this guy.
This message is brought to you by Kid Feldman.
Oh.
I would totally give you another
Sean.
$250 if it meant to keep T&D Media in business.
There's a man. There's a man.
Was that the mummy noise?
Yeah, there's a mummy noise. There's a man that looks exactly like a cross between Corey Feldman and Kid Rock. I call him Kid Feldman. He is a founder, and he just said that, hey, just chiming in. I'm still listening, and I will give you $250. I'll double my investment just to do it again. So hats off to you, Kid Feldman. You get a straw hat.
His voice.
Send me a box.
Do you think it's psychological when we said Kid Feldman? His voice sounds like Corey
Lower
Feldman.
Corey Feldman.
Yes,
It does.
It does.
It
Like
does.
Grizzly Feldman.
Yep.
Yeah, he's
but
like Grizzly Feldman.
if you listen to the inflection of his voice, it's
This message is brought to you by Kid Feldman. I would totally give you another $250 if it meant to keep T&D.
Not so much the second time. The first
don't
time.
Don't listen to it too many times.
No.
If I listen to it the next time, I'm going to think...
Ghost of Manute Bowl says he sounds like Lee. He kind of does.
I don't remember what...
Yeah.
Who?
I know, right? Why are you being mean to the future of rock and roll?
You guys are the meanest. I stay quiet.
I'm not.
I don't
mean
do
at
nothing.
all. Here's
You
another.
fired him.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't. You guys forced me to.
I don't have any power here.
If it hadn't been for me, that guy'd still be here.
I would have just said,
Somebody's got to do something.
I would have sat here and ignored it.
Oh my God.
I won't do anything until you force me
I
to.
know you will. I mean,
and I'll put it off.
his hand.
I put it off for a year.
Under his desk, there's a salad that's been there for 2 weeks. He won't take it out. There's flies crazy under there.
I put it off since day 2. We're gonna get like, hold on, wait.
Hold on.
All right.
Hello, Tom and Dan. So I'm thinking about who's the boss today. And I'm like, that's a weird concept of this handyman, whoever, and his daughter move into this lady's house where he's going to work, I guess, with her mom and son. And, you know, it's just kind of odd. I don't know if it would happen so much today, or if that show was to be created today, I think it'd be a little bit different. Then, you know, I'm thinking about Judith Light. And, like, is she good looking or not?
Is that the blonde mom, right? Judith Light?
I don't
blonde?
know.
Yeah, she was attractive. That's a silly question. All the women on that show, most of the time, actresses are attractive guys.
Yes, it was the mom, yeah.
It's weird to say, oh, is she attractive? Well, of course she is. She's a working actress in Hollywood. That's silly.
The internet has killed all of this type of thing where you let strangers live in your house, or you pick up strangers on the road.
You do.
Hitchhikers.
You do all of this.
Yeah, I do it because I'm not influenced by the stories of the internet. But the reason why the internet's killed it,
sheeple and Q sent him,
is that 99.9% of the time, if you let someone live in your house, they will not kill you or rape you, or they may steal from you. That's I think a higher. But as far as kill or the worst possible scenario,
they won't rape you. They'll rape your house of items.
It's not going to happen. But because it's happened one time and everybody on the internet saw it, never happen again because they'll be afraid of that thing. You see what I'm saying? I think that's
probably. Having a roommate, but having a roommate is something that people. I have tons of friends that have roommates. I have tons of friends that have roommates where the roommate is just like a true roommate in the fact that they're nice enough and they come and go, but there's very little interaction other than they cohabitate. You know, like they're in the same home, which. I've never done that before. College, but that's a dorm, and I don't count that.
I'm not talking roommate per se, but I'm talking there's a guy that, that may do some work on your house or property, or like, he's doing some sort of work for you, or you want him to do some work for you, and maybe it's long term, and doesn't have a place to stay, and you're like, well, why don't you stay in my extra room or pool house or garage, converted garage. You know what I'm saying? You could just live here and do the work. And then it was more of like a handshake, like, just stay, it's all fine. Like that used to happen, I feel like, back in the day a lot. Like vagrants, you used to put them up for the night. It's like the old school.
Put them in the barn.
The old school wandering, the guy wanders through your town and you show hospitality to him and you let him sleep in your house or whatever. I'm just saying those days are over because people are too paranoid now, and I think it's because of the story.
We spun the yarn of people being murdered too many times, and the tall tale took over and gave people caution. Right?
If you see it and you see one story of it, it's just human psychology that you're like, that could happen to me. It's a lottery. It's everything else.
It got perpetuated. Like even the old we'll let you stay in the barn became don't sleep with the farmer's daughter, which then became a joke. Like all that stuff has become
Well, then it's become this guy.
Folklore.
This guy's gonna go into my house and sleep with my daughter, or like this guy's going to kill me
with an erection who can't be stopped.
How many times, remember?
Have I stayed in the old man's barn with an erection? I don't know, 7, 8.
Well, remember
times.
When Uber first started, the paranoia was, I'm not going to get in a car with a stranger who'll kill me.
I never thought that.
People thought that. Like,
I know, but I have weird ones. I'm like,
but
hey,
even
I'm on
a taxi driver is a stranger to you.
Yeah, but that was already an
happens.
established tradition that people were comfortable with. You see what I'm saying? Like, and they just justify. You justify everything, but
do.
it's not real. You
pick and choose your caution.
Being scared of murder, of someone murdering you, shouldn't be a fear. Unless you are, in some real bad neighborhood where lots of murders happen or something, or you're in Afghanistan, then you should actually be like, well, there's a higher chance of me getting murdered. But like, you're a regular person living your life. No one's going to murder you. Now they can, but the likelihood is slim to zero. You shouldn't even worry about it.
No, I'm with you. We do have to take a break.
Yeah. Oh, bye-bye.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha's here. Butler is here. Fish tank is looking great, man.
That is, yeah.
It got cloudy for like one day, but I think that was the new stuff we put in there. We have this new fish now, Sam. I don't know if you've seen him. We need to name him. But he's see-through, and he eats rocks, and then he poops the rocks at his gills on the side. It's almost like he cleans the fish gunk off of the rocks, and that's all he does all day. And then he digs himself into like a little burrow, and he sleeps in there.
Mm-hmm.
So
he's awesome.
He's eating all the algae and doo-doo on the bottom.
I think so.
Yeah, that's what he's getting off the rocks.
Like with most things in my life, it's here. I just don't know much about it.
Yeah.
Like with anything. Like this entire business is chugging down the tracks, but I have a very loose grasp of what's even happening here.
Yeah. That's how
everything feels new to me.
Yeah. Well, like how the computers.
I don't even know if this is on
technology.
I think
don't know.
it is.
Yeah. I don't know how this is all distributed.
I check the thing, and then I'm like, it needs water, and then you guys put water in it. But really, I just go over and I look at the tank, and
I come here, I talk into the black sponge.
Yeah, the sponge.
And then I go to the mailbox, and then there's checks in there.
Yeah.
Then I go,
and then I tell this guy to put the money, I'm assuming it's money.
Yeah,
put the papers into
the vault,
the building.
Yeah.
So I can get out
and then I can use my plastic
to buy the
tiny thing
to buy
whatever
liquids that make me kick my dog around.
Yeah. It all
the dog kickers.
Do we have an email?
Yeah, we do.
First email.
Okay. This is entitled "Idea to Make More Money." Hey, y'all.
Not interested. Next email.
I was listening to the show where Tom said he is all ears on ways to make more money. I'm sure he's thought of everything already, but I figured I'd throw in my wine-induced thought process. Just as a side note, I'm a BDM, and I ran into your show randomly when I saw you guys on a top comedy podcast list a long time ago, and the first show I ever listened to was the K2 show, and it was truly awful, but I continued to listen and haven't stopped since.
Oh, my God.
I've never been to Orlando, and that kind of ties into my next point. Ultimately, what you guys have is a great product, the show itself. ACT is funnier than ever, and you guys are all over it with merch and branding.
Thank you.
The next evolution has to be growth, and by that I mean into different markets. Syndication. Now, I know part of your lore is having the local mindset, but I don't think you have to sacrifice that to make a successful show in different markets. The best part is you can recycle 12 joke topics on totally new listeners and clue them in on the inside jokes about Orlando as you go. It'll be a transition at first, definitely an unpopular one at the beginning, but like I said, you've already have a great product, and as you grow, so will your BDMs, advertising, etc. I'm not a businessman, but that sounds like more money. Now, this ultimately is selling out and kind of reversing everything that you've built over the past few years, but the true long con is that once you've built up a sizable base, you get out of radio and start a podcast network. Tom and Dan and Friends. Basically, you take the cast of characters you have established on the show, Sam, Ross, Tuttle, maybe more, and their podcasts, and you create a network where you continue to provide their content, advertising, and merch. You can even bring on new talent, and you basically curate yourselves for your listeners. I digress. I apologize that this was entirely too long, but it just may work, BDM for life.
Perfect idea. Sign that guy.
So, say you had a jam company, and I'll just call it Dan's Jams. And it's like
that name's a little clunky.
Danny's Jammies.
I'd like Jams by Dan.
Jams by Dan.
Yeah.
And you're selling your jams at the local farmers market, and you're like,
can't sell them there yet.
You're like, I have a business idea for this guy, Danny. He doesn't realize what he needs to do, right?
I go by Dan.
And so I come to you, and I'm like, hey, Dan. What is it? Jams, Dan?
Jams by Dan.
Jams by Dan. this is what you need to do. I'm no businessman, but you need
Are you telling me this at my tent while you're buying some of my
yeah. You need to get all these jams.
Yeah.
And then you need to sell them in all the Walmarts across the entire country because there's a lot of those, right?
Hold on. Does anybody have a piece of paper I can write this down?
And then you'll be rich because you'll be selling all the jams everywhere. And then
hold on. How do you spell Walmart?
Do that.
Okay.
I'm the businessman. Take that idea, run with it.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
I'll
What's
take
your
my
name,
compensation.
Sir? Oh, it disappeared. It was an apparition.
You explained to us that we need to get our show a bunch of listeners everywhere.
Globally.
Globally.
Global syndication.
And then that's where the money's is.
Global syndication is the internet.
Yeah.
We're already on the internet.
Well, no, I prefer the term global syndication.
Okay.
No S, sir. Well, no. You're a nice guy. I appreciate it.
You're saying
It's a
no,
medium
but
for
I mean, it's
life.
still a good idea.
Well, that's how everything, all media works. You want the most listeners, the most viewers possible. But how do you do? How to get that done?
But he emailed us for us to tell him that that's a good idea, and sir, that's a great idea, and I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Well, distributing more of your product to more people to get more customers is how all business works. Like that's how every.
Yeah, but he thought of it first.
That's the basis of all business,
right?
It's just sell your product to more people. Yes, I know that. It's how to get that done is the insanely hard part.
Bad.
It's like, how do you advertise our show to people that don't know about it? All right. Well, there's a lot of different avenues to do that. Some of them cost money. Some of
Brock
them
in our Twitch chat room chiming in. He says, "Just make more money, you blanking idiots."
Yeah.
See, now I like that.
I'll give him a prize.
Thank you, Brock.
Give
what do you want, a straw hat?
Yeah, the one straw hat for Brock.
Next email, please.
Okay, this says, on Instagram.
Oh, hold on. I don't ever want to stop him when he's on one of these rants.
No.
Me.
I want to apologize if I came off like a D-head to this listener who's trying to help us.
I just thought it was a really good idea.
I'm just trying to make fun of it.
Okay.
Because,
I know.
of course, that's what we need to do. But how do you do that?
I've never heard you say anything
But it's
about
like,
syndication.
I'm mad now.
You haven't said
Now
one
he's
word about
mad. Now he's
syndication.
mad.
Right, and this, I'm mad
Brock, I'm taking your straw hat away.
Jimmy D. Colbert, or whatever his middle name is.
Wait, Jimmy? What, you mean Jim Colbert? What is his middle name?
Timothy Earl Colbert.
No, it's Perkins.
that's
it's
right.
Perkins.
God, the only thing I remember are the things I'm not supposed to remember.
When I used to have to write a bit every day, I'd wander around, ask, because I'm too lazy. I want people to do my job for me.
I'd just stay silent. You'd be like, you got any ideas? I'd be like, nope.
So I'd ask Jimmy some days, and a lot of days he helped me. Some days he'd be like, tell a funny story about your wife. All right.
Super generic.
I'd be like, there you go.
Thanks a lot,
tell
buddy.
a really funny stand-up style story with a good punchline at the end.
I may have been worse than that and told you one time, just do the thing.
It's like if a stand-up comedian's like, what joke should I tell in this special or whatever? Like,
You gotta make them laugh.
You got to tell really funny stories with good punchlines to run with that.
Yeah.
How about the scream?
I know you were.
But I saved it.
He got a big
Yeah.
and then suppressed it.
But of course,
that's not good for your heart.
Yeah, it really
that
is.
doesn't help any. That's exactly what you have to do. We understand that the hard part is like, how do we do that? The execution. What are the stories? Give me some sort of, give me the punchline or what, the topic or what. That's the hard part.
Born this way, Lady Gaga.
Anyway, sorry. Next thing.
This says, how on Instagram they give you suggestions who to follow based on who you follow? Look at these two suggestions. One is obvious, the other not so much. And one of them is a picture of your wife, Dan Andrea. But it says, I don't know why the picture is Andrea, and it says, since you follow Crystal Van, you might like Andrea Dennis.
All right.
And then the other one says, since you follow Tom Van, you might like The Rock.
Oh, that's great.
One is not like the other.
That's awesome. That's very cool.
So,
where do you stand on The Rock? You like The Rock?
I like The Rock.
I like The Rock, too.
Okay.
I've heard he's a good person and a hard worker.
Has anybody is ABC carrying his tequila? They can get it, right?
I'm sure they will if they don't already.
I want to try it.
So
I'm a tequila man, and I would dance with some of The Rock's tequila.
So it's all just an algorithm, and I wonder how it links me with The Rock? Is it just because maybe...
That's a great question.
Well, Brock BDM says that you're just special needs The Rock.
All right, yeah. No. Even special needs Rock is rich.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and ripped. Yeah. I'm special needs Rock's cousin.
Yeah, you're like
You're Pebble.
Yeah.
Is that the only term for a small rock we can think of?
Yeah.
Stone
Cold.
I was going to say boulder, but
It's too big.
Yeah, too big.
So this happened to me yesterday, and I've never seen it. But tell me if it's happened to you. I tried to log on to my Facebook through my old computer, like the Crystal's old computer, the big one that I got.
Your gateway.
No, it's a Apple, but anyway, it's just old as hell.
Yeah.
But I logged on to Facebook. I haven't ever logged on to my Facebook for this, and I forgot my password.
Mm-hmm.
So I entered the wrong password, and then it had me reset my password.
Yes.
And then I did that, and then it's like, oh, you have to go through a verification process now.
Yeah.
And then it said, I'm like, all right. Then I hit next, and then it's like, here are a list of 5 of your friends. You have to send them a message, and then ask them what the code is. And then they have to send you the code.
I've never seen that. I think you just got hacked,
yeah,
bro.
you just got scammed. That's why you got all that porno on your calendar.
Yep.
Man, you went through with it, dude. They don't ask.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
They don't do that kind of thing.
No.
And it was you. It was Tiffany Martin. It was Crystal.
You sent them spam, bro.
I didn't do anything.
And we've been getting hammered. We got one of our main accounts that I use for like businessy type things.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, on Friday after the Friday Free Show, had a catastrophic where they called me. And they're like, you're getting hit. Like the guy on the phone was like, you need to change your password now. And he's like, I'm going to send you some stuff in your email to verify that it is actually me because I understand that this is weird. And then he shot me an email, and it was straight up from the Big G, from the Googs. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, we can chat now. And then I just had to go through like a little test, and then they changed everything for me.
Is it just because they had a Google, the signature? Like, I'm Jim from Google.
No, what, this thing? No, he called me. He had my phone number, which is very odd.
Was it from a call center? And then he had an Indian accent?
He did. And he said his name was like Jonathan. Yeah, totally
screaming in the background.
Totally fine. Totally.
Did you give him all the information?
Well, no, I didn't give him all of our stuff. I scanned every document, so he had real copies of it.
Okay, the
I
original.
like to be thorough. The first thing I did is I took. Do you remember when we thought we were paying our lease to a scam artist because we couldn't track down the man who owns this building? Do you remember that?
Yeah. There's been a lot of those.
Yeah. Would you like we have? Have we ever paid for something and not received it? Have we ever been scammed?
Yeah. Absolutely. There'd be no way of knowing, though.
I like that. I like that. That's better.
It's all so disorganized that it's impossible to tell what's real or what's not.
It's like torrent site for disorganization.
Yeah. I scanned the bank account, and I don't even recognize half of the charges of where they're coming from.
Yeah. Well, I sneak charges now. I put everything through iTunes. So when you see those massive $2,000, $3,000 iTunes charges, that's me buying, like car parts.
I look at it, I'm like, oh, that's for the music for the show. I don't understand. I don't understand the show.
All the music.
Yeah, so when I see iTunes, I'm like, legitimate, approved.
All of it is. I funnel my credit cards through iTunes.
Yeah. It's massive. It's like $16,000 so far.
More than that.
I mean, just for this month.
Yeah. My Apple Card, they gave me like $50,000 credit line.
Oh, spend all of that.
I am.
Oh my God.
I am. It's already maxed out.
Buy a supercharged jet ski. That's all I can think of.
They limit what you can. They start calling. The bank will start calling if you start buying things that are too big. Like I went in there to buy. Like I wanted to buy one of those small electric cars. Those Mokes. Have you seen those?
No.
It looks like a dune buggy. And it's like a little electric car that you charge. It goes like 100 miles on a charge. You'll see them around here sometimes.
Is it like a golf cart?
Yeah, but it's like a fancier British golf cart. It was very popular. I think it was a gas-powered vehicle. It's called like a Moke, M-O-K-E, I think.
And now it's electric and...
Yeah, I'll show you. I tried to buy one of these with my Apple Card.
If someone crashed into you, how
there it is.
Like you think it's
one of those.
Yeah,
one of those.
Okay, yeah.
He's gonna buy that for the show.
That's like
that is dope.
Yeah,
and
basically a cooler looking golf cart.
Yeah, it's like $20,000, and I put it on the Apple Card, and they called me and said you can't do that, and I was like, okay.
You can't. Why not?
I don't know.
You should have screamed and be like, "It's my money."
Money is money.
How cool is that,
dude? Yeah, you gave me $50,000. I want to spend half of it.
That's why I said you gave me.
Then why'd you give me anything?
Yeah, like don't even. I was like, here, take the card back. I don't even want it now. Stupid.
If I can't buy whatever I want,
I was like, get out of here.
What's it worth?
I want this Moke.
Yeah. Let's buy that.
It's got a electric or gas. You can pick your color, and then it has no roof or sides. It's literally just like a low-profile electric Jeep.
And then,
this is what you need, dude. It's $19,000. So
because I could just drive to work on that.
Yes, you can.
To work and back, and then I keep my truck for towing the boat or whatever. I don't know. It just sits there with gets pollen on it.
Well,
that's the problem.
You wait till the tires go flat. You pump them up to pull the boat.
Yeah, but that's. I think if I got this and I love driving this so much, I'd see my truck every day, and then I'd be mad that it's just sitting there, right?
Yeah.
But that's a small price to pay for the Moke.
Well, then you try to pull your boat with the Moke because you're drunk and you burn the electric engine out.
Yeah.
And then your truck's tires are flat, so you can't even go anywhere.
Or I'm on Qualified Captain, and the boat rocketing backwards into the water, and the Moke being dragged into with it, and then someone's screaming "World Star."
There is a guy in Baldwin that has one of these, and I've seen one and actually touched it, and it's really cool, dude.
It looks very well made.
Yeah, it's like sturdy, and it looks like it's made for you to drive around with nothing but girls in bikini tops. That's what it's made for, right?
Can you make it to the beach and back on one charge? What's the?
Okay, this one will go. It's 40 miles. So the answer is no. But you could drive to the beach and then charge it while you're beaching.
Ooh, 40 miles is close. It'd be running. You'd be
we could get the gas-powered one and just I don't think this electric thing's going to catch on anyway. I'm gas for life. Give me the good old Mopar.
Dude, how quiet the electric engines are on golf carts. It's so much nicer not having to
noise pollution.
You know, there's something, especially when you're, have a.
I don't even know if I'm saying it right. Is it Moke or Mook?
It looks like Moke.
I think it's Moke.
Or is it Moke?
It could be Moke. From British classic to Caribbean icon, Moke has become a symbol of fun in the sun. Introducing Moke America, a 20th century collectible car reinvented with the 21st century green-friendly electric power, available exclusively in the USA.
Now, is it one of those things you have to buy into some sort of crowd fund, and then they have to they make them and you get the first one, or can I buy this and be delivered?
It's out right now. Yeah, you have it delivered. They said they set it up in 14 days.
So 14 days, and I get it in my front yard.
Moking it up.
And then you just plug it into a 110 outlet?
Yeah, you plug it into a regular outlet, yeah. That's why it takes 8 hours to charge, I think. That's the bad part.
It's just, man, if you lived by the beach...
It's for a dumb old man. You drive it around, you put the stuffed animals with the bungee cord, right? All the girls come over, you're like, hey... Looking for my sugar mama. Remember that guy? He had the sign on him.
Dude, you should just get this to drive around Baldwin.
I want it.
We should get it for the show. And
Two people standing in my way. My wife and my Apple Card. They won't let me do it.
We could buy it for the show, wrap it, and then have a show vehicle.
It's got
just like the grip truck,
weatherproof seats.
You guys think this is going to be great, and then
I like how I've already forgot about the.
It's sitting in my garage. Let's do something.
Well, you get rid of it. It's your problem.
All right, you guys told me you wanted to use it for a promotion.
Oh, we did.
Well,
but it's so much work.
Yeah, the promotions are only good in my brain. Once we start putting the pieces together, it's like this bingo we're doing at the Land Cruise.
The ideas.
God damn it.
We like
damn bingo.
We get excited about the ideas, but the execution's a hard work part.
Yeah, we need a team of people that can execute these things for us without us having to do it.
Get us syndicated and start a podcast.
Our team is too small. Our team's too small.
Yeah. We need
a bigger team.
Yeah. so that we can just wander in here and then
tell other people what to do.
Come over cockamamie, and then you guys are like, these guys are idiots. You start, I mean, for sure, you start stealing from us.
That's already happened.
MC Hammer
I know. And then
the next thing you know, I'm in the middle of Orlando, downtown, appearing at some church, trying to do all my hits to recoup some money. I'm singing all the Weird Job Wednesday theme songs at a church to try and get a little bit of money to get a megabus back to wherever I live now. I don't know. I'm living in Dan Cummins' guest house in Idaho.
I'm doing stand-up at these
bonkers.
Bonkers, and it's bad. But it's bad. And then I try
you got to catch a ride with D-Rug.
Yeah.
You're out there. Where you at? Oh, Porky's? Which Porky's? Porky's Comedy Club or Porky's Barbecue? Porky's Comedy Club. Oh, God. You're out there.
Yeah. Then I'm doing these sets for
there's a guy, he's over there playing pool while you're trying to get your jokes out.
I'm selling my I get whatever's left in the
I got a flash drive of a show I did. Everybody's like,
I'm selling
F your flash drive.
Just at the storage unit, whatever's in there. I'm selling old t-shirts. Then I go to my apartment.
Oh, sad.
Oh, man.
And you're like, oh, should I move to LA? I'm not good enough.
All right. Bye-bye.
Friday.
Scared me.
Well, I don't want to do traditional intros anymore.
Okay.
I mean, we are more of a podcast than we certainly are a radio show.
Yeah.
You know, I left the radio years behind me, and one of the things, and you used to clown on me, you don't really clown on me as much anymore because I think I'm better, but I still have kind of clung to, and I think it's a security blanket almost, a lot of these like old school radio styled crutches that you fall back on to kill time when you're trying to just talk into a microphone.
I give out the number, introductions.
Weather, reset it. Oh, who's here? How you feeling? Oh, what'd you eat for lunch? You know, just small talk, dumb crap.
I remember when Jim Phillips told you, like, he listened to some interview, and he's like, you have to...
yeah, he did.
You have to tell the audience who you're speaking to, because that was an old radio
story
thing where you don't know when the audience gets in their car and turns on the radio. So if it's in the middle of a conversation, they need to be reminded who the guest is, and like that's an old school thing.
But we weren't doing that.
No, because
I mean, I guess for ACT you could make an argument that, but
no reason to ever
most
do
of the people that listen to our show are podcast people anyway.
Yeah.
So anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to scare you, but I'm trying to find naturally, and that's the hard thing. I'm trying to naturally find a new way to intro the show.
You could just go right into it, I guess. Though
that would scare you, though.
You do? No. I'll get used to it.
You ahead of time.
Wait, we don't do the typical outro, so why are we doing the typical intro?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
now
you just go right into it. You just start talking, start off with a voicemail.
Do you want me to try that?
Yeah.
I mean, I've never done that. So
because there already are like Casey edits. Like Dan Stone intros, like you're listening to corporate time,
it's
like
it's
already in there.
Like a little piece, and it's like, like being rich is baby. It's like you're listening to a corporate time, and it's just like that.
Yeah.
So I don't need to go. Welcome back to a corporate time. You already know you're back.
And I feel like too that
doing this on the air too is the stuff this is the good stuff the listeners never get to hear.
Yeah.
The grit.
There's also that thing where which voice, who's Tom, who's Dan, the listeners need to know so they, but I'm like...
You can go to YouTube and watch the videos and then you'd know because it's the little guy is Dan and the bigger guy is Tom and the girl is Sam.
Yeah.
And then Travis is in the background putting stuff in bags.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that.
I'm the dumb one. Daniel has the voice that's kind of M-word a little bit.
Oh, okay. There's so many different abbreviations I didn't know.
That pitch of an
really?
M-word.
I've never, no one's ever told me that.
No, I've never heard that either.
It's like
like that.
Yeah. It's not all that way. It's not all that.
I slip in and out of it.
No, it's just a little bit.
So occasionally I'll be like, welcome back to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan.
It's like you lived in M-Wordville but you moved here when you were 13.
Okay.
So now you're in your 40s, so you lost most of your accent.
I was born in England. Occasionally I'll dip your toe into it.
Yeah. It's like Butler, every once in a while.
I've never heard him go British.
When he talks to a British person, he does.
Does he?
Yeah, that's
his
his
dad
Chopper.
calls him. You're wrong, mama, you're wrong.
We're going to talk about this on this AMT, this Friday's AMT. But Butler said,
"Wait, what's AMT? Which one is that?"
That's the Friday Free
Show.
Show.
The Friday Free Show,
uncensored. Yeah.
The uncensored one. Where can people hear that?
Too hot for radio.
I just got a text from Jim Phillips. He said, "You got to tell people."
I'm not telling you. I'm not telling you. If you can't even bother to even look 1 second, then you're not going to like it. So
you know, a truer thing has never been said. That's true.
Butler said that he would slip into an island accent.
No, he was culturally appropriating.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's what
choppers. Vacation.
That's what choppers do.
Yeah.
They can't help themselves.
That's what Chet Hanks did. He's the Chet Hanks of our show.
Chet Hanks, Chopper Hanks.
Yeah,
Chopper Chet.
But most of our gay black listeners think Chet Hanks is a snack.
That's true.
Well, one does.
And you know what? I took it.
He's not an unattractive
I
man.
took
He's
it
just an
into
idiot.
consideration, and I looked at Chet Hanks with like black gay eyes, and I have to
handsome.
agree. Yeah, he's not a bad looking guy. If he keeps his mouth shut, I see
Right.
exactly what Ron's saying.
Yeah.
He's a good looking dude. He's in great shape, and he comes from exquisite genes.
Yeah.
I mean, he comes from America's
If you just
closest
shut the hell
royalty.
up.
Yeah, if you just shut your mouth, and you know what? I'll even go a step further. You can still do your hip hop. You can still do your rap because that's just you. You're just
don't
doing
say
your
the
music.
N-word.
Don't say the
Yeah,
N-word.
leave that part out.
And don't pretend to be Jamaican
No,
at
don't
award
do that.
shows because he did that one time, and that was really weird.
I like
Blood clot.
that. I like when people do that.
Yeah, you say that all the time. Every time Tom's in there, he'll be looking at a screen and be blood clot.
If anybody pretends to be anybody else, I laugh at it. I'm an idiot. Most of us are there's like, ha ha, whatever. Like no one cares.
You know what makes you laugh more than anything, though? Yeah. And I found this out this week. Are fat football kickers.
Listening to this week's ACT show from Tuesday with the Nerd Jock segment with EJ. You guys are talking about Chungus kickers. And the discussion should start and finish with Sebastian Janikowski. As a Chungus kicker myself in high school, Sebastian Janikowski was the guy who you looked up to. He was this big, burly Polish guy who actually went to Seabreeze High School here in Daytona Beach. And
goddamn, feed your dog, Chungus.
Honestly.
God.
Guy was a f***ing monster. And he even got in trouble when he went to Florida State for trying to bribe police officers and have these crazy off-the-field antics. The guy was incredible, kicking-wise, though.
Was Janikowski Chungus?
Seabass?
I am looking at pictures. He's a bigger boy, but I would not classify him a Chungus.
He's just thick. Yeah, he's not like that Chungus, the kicker we saw.
We met a punter. We met Johnny Townsend. Came in here, used to play for the Raiders, and got picked up, I believe, by the Giants, and I don't know where he is now. Played for UF. He was a very large man, so yeah. If you've never seen,
he's just a fit,
tall
but he was
athlete, big dude.
Yeah.
You know, like big man,
big he was tall and athletic, but not. I mean not
fat. No.
Yeah, that college kicker we were talking about was Chungus.
Was chubbier, yeah.
Seabass.
He was also 5'5", that guy that we were talking about.
Yeah,
so when you're bigger and short,
what's Johnny Townsend like? 6'4", 6'3"? He was big.
He was at least 6.
Yeah, he was a big dude.
Janikowski's 260 pounds.
That's a big boy.
Yeah.
But he's tall.
Yeah, I think he's.
Let's see, how tall is he?
6.
Yeah, I don't think we said that you couldn't be a bigger guy and do it. We just were trying to find out the correct equation because there is one. There is a optimum equation for length of body, weight of leg. And then you have to factor in your
6'1".
Then you got to factor in your the way you kick, right? Then your style. But I would imagine that there is a perfect body size in science, or a better one, right? No.
Well, there's probably an optimal one, and there's one in every position. Kicker might be a little bit weird because that has a lot to do with just pure form, power, and technique.
It's like a golf swing at some point, right?
Yeah.
It's like you know how to operate the club to get maximum amount of energy out of your leg.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned, because like a golf swing, you can be tall and medium, and I don't know if that really affects it that much.
That's interesting, yeah. Like Ian
your
Woods,
technique was more like, again, Tiger Woods is not a huge guy. If you could somehow hit the ball 50 yards further, being above 6 foot, you'd see a lot more above 6 foot golfers, because they would just go there.
Samantha, look up Ian Woosnam. He's a golfer. Ian Woosnam. I believe he is a miniature man of a golfer. Like, I want to say he's like
5'4".
Yeah, he's little.
Yeah,
and he was awesome.
So you may be able to.
His nickname was Wussy.
Or
Woozy?
Probably
W-O-O-S-I-E?
He was a big. What's that one where we? Is it? It was Skin Games where you play. It's like Ryder Cup, where it's like U.S. versus Britain and England.
Yeah.
And he was like, he's one of the guys on the England team and really good. And I think he would, There you go, little guy.
And I think, like, obviously, if you're 6'3", you could probably drive the ball 25 yards further than the 5'3" guy or whatever it is. But then if your technique and your skill will make that up, I'm saying, like if you were able to do 100 yards further, you have a real advantage. But 25 yards is kind of like, like you need to get it on the green. It's like it's probably not giving you that much of an advantage. Speaking of golf, I thought this was interesting. So all the news was I guess they finished the investigation for the Tiger Woods accident.
How'd that go?
Well,
he was hauling ass.
They just said he was speeding, and that was the cause of the accident.
You didn't think that was like, speeding is speeding.
He was going 40 miles over the speed limit.
That's excessive.
That is very excessive.
It's reckless driving.
It's still speeding, but he was going way too fast, and that was at the end of the investigation, the cause. But what I found interesting is they also said, well, we had no reason to believe that there was any sort of alcohol. We didn't smell alcohol. There was none in the car, drugs, but there was no also blood test or any other investigation. Mm-hmm. And I wondered if that's obviously you got Tiger Woods involved, which actually makes it more under a microscope, which leads me to believe they would test it if they normally did that. But because there was nobody else involved in the accident, and it was a single car accident, maybe the protocol is like, if there's no evidence towards that's
what they said in the press conference.
BS. He didn't even get a citation for this.
Yeah. Oh, I think it's totally BS.
And by the way, he can afford the citation.
Yeah, but there's no way.
Well, he may get a reckless drive.
No, he got nothing.
He got nothing. It literally says in here he got nothing.
I'm almost positive he got nothing, because, like, if you think about it, I don't think there's anybody here that if we had an accident like that, we would at least get cited.
Absolutely.
Get cited for something.
Well, if there's nobody that's like, if there's no property ruined, or
if you break the law and cause an accident and have to have police show up, you're getting citations for sure.
You're causing your own accident. Maybe there's one of those things where, like, all right, if there's nobody on the other side, like, I know I've seen people like that crash into someone's fence, and then like there or something like that, and there's property damage involved, then maybe you have to go through the protocol of citing the person, because that person has to the property owner has to have some sort of citation and able to get their money from the insurance, so that kind of thing.
Right.
But if it's just
you
like,
would need a paper trail at that point.
You flew off the road and you rolled your car, and there's nobody else like involved with that. Maybe it's just one of those deals where it's like, all right, you broke your car, it's your fault.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's nobody else. There's no other passenger in the car. It's just you. I don't know.
I would say this. I'm 44 years of age. I think it is impossible to drive. This is just my opinion. I believe it is impossible to drive 40 miles over the speed limit, have the police investigate and realize that you drove 40 miles over the speed limit, and then have nothing happen to you. I feel like that's preferential treatment, and that's weird.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I know of anybody of what you're saying. I've heard of small little instances. Yeah, he backed into this. He did that. Yeah. Oh, sure. And it's a thing where there's more that's happening. It's 40 miles over the speed limit.
Yeah.
You can't even make an argument that he wasn't endangering
It's reckless
anybody else.
driving.
Yeah, you're endangering everybody else on the road at that
How
point.
do you not even get a citation for, at the minimum, reckless driving?
I guess
because you're Tiger Woods.
Well, what I'm saying, actually, I would think that because it was Tiger Woods, they'd be like there would be more of a microscope. They'd have to go by the letter of the
paid
law.
him off.
Well, I think
he quote donated to the department.
I think that you will probably see that happen now because I think most people will be like, "Well, that's not cool."
But
what do you do? Why are you allowed to do that?
Well, that's why I think, and I would, it would make me believe that that's protocol. Because everybody's looking at it. It's like if you could do it if nobody's looking at it, but if the whole world's looking at it, then you'd have to follow. You know what I'm saying?
They're not really saying that though. When in the press conference that I saw, where it gets muddy is he's not saying he's alluding to it being protocol. What you're saying, at least what I saw, the guy that I don't even know who it was. I just saw it in passing, but he was like, "Yeah, we saw no reason to give a citation." Well, it's one thing to say that. Is another.
How do you see no reason?
Yeah, because he goes through exactly what Tom is saying.
Right. No one else was hurt. Yeah.
My point is that when did that happen? Because I've never heard of that ever happening in any other case other than this one. Because
I have and we know people that have flipped their car in some rural road, and then they were drunk. So they ran home or whatever, and then started drinking. So when the cops found
that one, but to me that's different.
Well, that they didn't get anything for flipping your car. You would obviously you're reckless driving or something happened. I don't even.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's almost like you would need some sort of level of proof. I guess I don't know. I'm speaking on things I don't know. Do I think it's fair? No. Do I think that Tiger Woods should be cited? Absolutely, I do. I don't think you should be allowed to drive 40 miles over the speed limit, flip your car. You could have killed multiple people. Who knows?
Yeah.
You should be cited for that. Right. You can't drive like that.
I have no idea.
If you don't have the proof, maybe the way that it's always been is, hey, we weren't here, we didn't see it, we can't really prove that you were doing that.
They said under California law, they typically require either an independent witness or a law enforcement officer to witness the excessive speed. So even though they can prove it after the accident, you have to have an eyewitness, apparently, to get cited.
You can have an investigator give his theory about how fast he was driving based on tire tracks and
I think they pulled the computer in his car because they could tell that he was accelerating the whole time.
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know if they can go in and
Geico computer app.
Right.
Yeah. But anyway,
that's nuts. Where's he at now? Because I find the whole story is completely fascinating.
Just at home recovering.
Yeah, but is he he's keeping low profile. I mean, his injuries are still extremely bad, right?
Yeah.
We don't know.
Broke his legs.
Yeah, that could be the end of his career. I mean.
Yeah. That it seems like it would be hard to come back from this and all his other health problems as far as his back and everything.
That's bad.
You watch that documentary, Barely Walk, when he's playing. You know what I'm saying? He's had multiple back surgeries. His knees are all messed up.
Yeah, it's brutal.
His lower right leg, the tibia, and the fibula had been broken in multiple places and were open fractures, meaning the bones had pierced the skin.
Yeah, he had a lot of the really
bad.
Yeah, they interviewed some guy that was first on the scene. The guy was like, "Yo, it was gruesome."
Based on how many surgeries Tiger Woods has had, and that documentary, I hadn't really heard about other golfers suffering from as much back and knee problems as him. Now I know it's all subjective because it's all based on your own genetics and your own lifestyle and training method, all that stuff.
Did you take care of yourself?
Everybody's different, but it seems like he suffered way worse as far as golf related problems than most golfers I've heard of, right? It's like you had Jack Nicklaus and you don't think, he could barely walk now. It's like an old football player.
Do you wonder if it's because he's literally done it his entire life?
No, that's the theory that some people have. The theory that some people
pushed himself too hard.
That's the theory that I've heard. You bring up something that people have even mentioned before in other golf areas. They talk about and the ability for him to thrive, right? Let's say he's beaten those odds so many times, right? Because he's that guy. So of course he has more injuries because he pushes himself yourself harder in normal scenarios.
You would just think, and I know that he's had a longer athletic career than someone like a Jerry Rice, right?
Right,
But like Jerry Rice is...
Jerry Rice looks good as hell.
yeah.
Have you seen him lately? He's on Madden. They have him on Madden because they give awards, and you look at the guy, he's young as hell.
And he played during a time where there was no rules about hitting someone over the middle. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
So people were laying receivers out.
He talks about it.
And so it was a rougher time when he played. So how many times has Jerry Rice been tackled? Thousands of times, and probably hundreds were super hard, right?
Yeah.
Like, and this guy's walking around fine. Jerry Rice is fine. Like, Jerry Rice can run faster than all of us right now.
Oh,
easily.
my God.
Yeah.
And I don't know how old he is. It was 50s, mid-50s.
Yeah, but let's say...
So why, like, Jerry Rice seemingly doesn't have the extensive, now obviously without, I'm saying pre-car crash, but the injuries.
Well, like athletic math then, right? Let's do that. So does 1,000 tackles equal or is less than 1 million golf swings?
Well,
you know what I mean? Like the golf swing could be more detrimental to your bones or arthritis and wearing down your whatever.
Well, Jerry Rice is not only the tackles, like he trained all he was one of the wide receivers that trained more than ever. Like that guy, he was.
But is
that
it like
guy.
MMA versus boxing in the way that golf is a great low impact sport, but if you take it to the level like Tiger Woods is doing it, where
I don't know, just swinging, swinging clubs. That you think that
I can't do it.
Running routes.
I'm too stiff to swing a golf club, man. I look like
Tom, I saw that video.
I look like a weirdo.
That showed me that I'm like, that is a naturally stiff. Like that's a weird. Now you have
go
a
to
problem.
This Pilates studio down there.
I'm thinking about doing it. You want to do it with me?
You can get flexible.
No, I'll just do some drugs or something.
Okay, you're right. Thanks for waking me up. Oh my God,
I'll do like some sort of drug that naturally relaxes my
poppers. You can do some poppers.
Yeah, open up. Then I'll start BFing you. Let's try this. Let's try this one.
Yo, BDM Neil. So I'm responding to your guys talking about me going to Puerto Rico to the dentist. So yeah, I am actually half Puerto Rican. My grandma's 100%. She lives in Yauco, the Ciudad de Café. So yeah, I do speak Spanish too pretty fluently as well. I can write and read it better than I can pretty much speak it. But yeah, that's why we went over there, because my mom was like, we've all had stuff done with this dude. This guy's awesome. My grandma definitely knew him. And yeah, she just paid him straight up cash. So, and then they were like, yeah, we'll do a deal if you do cash, all the time. And that happens a lot in, other countries. But for sure, Puerto Rico, if you pay cash, they hook you up. But,
there you go.
All right. I would like to go for international procedures to save money one day. I don't know what kind of procedure.
What do you want to get done? You were talking about your braces. We could get you some Puerto Rican braces.
Oh, yeah.
Boricua braces?
I bet that.
No, he wants leg braces. He wants to bow his legs. He wants to bow his legs like a bull rider.
When I start doing heavy plastic surgery.
You're going to look like Mucho Amor. What's that guy's name? I forgot. What's his name?
Oh, God. What is his name?
I love Mucho Amor.
I just bought that shirt, by the way.
I'm going to buy it.
Mucho
mediocre.
Walter Mercado.
Walter Mercado.
You're going to look exactly like big-lipped.
Because you're working on the poof.
You have his hair. I was talking to I got my hair cut today by our barber, and I was talking about how your hair is bigger and more luxurious than ever. I feel every day I walk in here, I feel like I'm at the Orlando headdress ball. You have these grandiose flippy doos. So let's work on the. Would you get Botox with me as a joke for the show? It goes away.
It takes a while, I don't want to go.
Let's
as
smooth
a joke.
out our faces. Come on.
You get
right
the
before
lion
the land
face.
cruise. Let's smooth our faces out, and then let's tan. Let's start tanning.
I don't know why you turn into a lion, but maybe
they shoot you with lion's blood.
Maybe we're just thinking of the Cowardly Lion.
Yes,
and then the prosthetics that and then if you get Botox, it poofs
the cheekbone.
Yeah, it cheeks you up.
It poofs your cheeks.
And
then
I don't need poofy
cheek
cheeks.
injections.
I'm trying to lose. My face is skinnier now, and I like the way I look in the mirror. I'm like, that's the man I love.
Oh, that's where you got to pull it tighter, just by a little bit.
Yeah, I suck in my cheeks when I take pictures like this.
But you got to start now, actually, because that's the key. Is you start.
You guys are already kind of late.
Yeah.
No. We can get
39.
We can get on.
I can get on.
You're 39. Oh my
God.
God.
On to them 30s.
I could inject my crow's feet out. That's what you do.
I never noticed your crow's feet.
I don't really have. I still have a young man.
I find men that have crow's feet but have a tan on their face extremely attractive. I'm serious. Like what he's getting right now is very much like my dad have. You start looking a little bit more like my dad, and we're gonna have some effed up fantasies in here.
But I don't know why that.
That's a weird statement.
I'll cut that out. I'll cut that part out.
Yeah. No,
I don't have to leave everything in. I'm part owner of this company.
What you said was bad for business. It makes it crazy.
Almost makes people think that I was like in love in some weird way and wanted to make love to my father, which is not true. Who would say something like that? Let's go to this one.
Okay.
Palate cleanser.
Hey gang, it's Zach from Ohio. So for work, I drive a really big Mercedes Sprinter. It's like 9 feet tall, really long, and obviously when I back up, I put it in reverse. It has the beep, beep, beep thing so that people know I'm there. Now, they do the same thing in, I've seen it in grocery stores, like the people that drive around the motorized scooters or whatever. When they put it in reverse, it'll make that like beeping noise. That seems incredibly unnecessary to me. And it's almost like they're somebody who designed it was just f***ing with the people, because they're usually overweight people that are driving them.
No, I've actually seen, that's necessary, I've actually seen people drive over people driving those.
Yeah,
they're dangerous.
I mean, I guess it's so you don't get your feet driven over or whatever. Like that would
your ankle,
crush your toes. I mean,
especially if there's a fat person in it, it's going to weigh more.
I feel like they do that anyway. I feel like they slam on the gas before the beeping even starts. Has anyone else noticed that, especially at theme parks?
I'm taking offense to you using the term "they" for fat people.
I just meant anyone in one of those.
I'm just screwing around.
I remember when me and the Grizz worked at Home Depot, and we drove around the damn forklifts, and they have metal tires, right? They're just a flat, tiny,
shiny
metal tire.
Crushing machine.
And we were going to run over one of each other's feet, like the toes. To sue.
Man, I knew there's a reason we're in business together.
And we never.
You have black toes?
No, we never got the balls to do it.
Don't talk about his black toes. And next thing you know, it'll be him versus Butler in a snowboard off.
I saw that. Crystal got real upset about that.
Yeah.
Well, Butler says, you know what that guy.
Chopping crazy.
I'm already started my figuring out how to do the snowboard off, and I think we're going to do it at Winter Park Ski Club.
I'm going to take lessons of snowboard there.
Are we going to TikTok that?
No, snowboard?
Yeah. I want to learn how to do both. Why not?
Yeah,
I'm doing it for exercise. I'm not doing it for any reason other than knowledge.
But anyway,
I got 2 class credits.
We were going to, never got around to running each other's feet over.
You and the Grizz.
Yeah.
Well, let's run Butler's feet over for thinking he's better at snowboarding than you.
I was just mad because Butler's like, you know what causes that?
Your boots are too loose.
I'll tell you what caused your toe injury, which I already know. I didn't. That's what made me mad because
Choppers love to tell you things you already know.
Did you already know
he told me wrong because my shoe was too small. He's like, that's because your shoe's too big. And
he
that's
said he had loose boots.
Yeah. And
loose boot Larry over here.
Anyway, my feet are 2 different sizes.
Oh.
Bye-bye.